It's actually a pretty good mic for the sheer ancient and brokenness of the phone.
Yeah, I think they're always kind of legendarily a lot better. Wait, are we starting?
We're started, but
Oh,
it's
right,
kind of like
okay.
the fake start where we just like let people huddle
Oh, that's a
because
good
it's
idea.
live.
We'll
and-
stay quiet for 10 seconds now.
That's okay. How about okay?
Hello,
Hello.
and welcome.
We're live right after the episode where
I feel like this is better
punching
because
them out.
people will be
It's
going.
live reacts.
People will be going straight to YouTube after watching the episode, and they'll be like, "Oh, I need Doctor Who content. I need people to tell me what to think
Yeah, I know.
about the episode." And we're those people now.
We can be
We
the
are
first
influencers.
We're
people.
opinion informers.
We're
I'm
definitely.
just like guest starring, I guess, a little bit.
You're Mar.
Andrew
Yeah.
Morris here.
Yeah, I'm joining the team today.
People of the internet, you need to meet Andrew Marr because
Sheer memes alone, right?
the sheer memes you could bring, like if you could
Yeah.
like disseminate this content
Although,
into a meme.
do you know there's like never any Doctor Who memes?
Really?
I never see any Doctor Who memes
Yeah,
either, and I've
and-
looked for them actively.
If someone would know of memes, it's Andrew Morris.
Thank you.
I know there's a lot of reaction images, like David Tennant's face going like,
Yeah, I know
like-
there are those, but they aren't even that good half the time.
no, they're not really memes, are they? They're just kind of
they're
like,
just like images, and it's just like a subtitle. And half the time it's like misquoted. So yeah, it's not that
Filthy
good.
casuals. We just watched Arachnids in the UK.
Yep.
Dude.
It's the 4th episode of the new series.
We
Written by Chris Chibnall. Again.
Chibnall, the Chibbers.
Chips.
I don't think you can write dialogue.
No.
I say that having never written.
That's how good your dialogue would be.
I feel like that's more memorable than anything he's ever written. So there is that.
The episode begins. We're finally back in modern day Sheffield.
Finally.
Finally, it
after
only
all
took
this
us
time.
2 episodes.
I've missed modern day Sheffield.
We get a shot of a tram just so we know we're back.
I screamed at the tram. I was like, yes. Although I don't think I knew it was a tram. I thought it was a train. I was like,
Yeah.
yeah, it's a train.
I think they have tram trains in Sheffield.
It's
so
not
that's
really.
the whole thing.
It's not really too clear how long they've actually been away in kind of like real time though. Because
They said 30
They
minutes.
said 30 minutes.
well, yeah, they said 30 minutes, but the thing is, like, when Yaz comes off, I mean, they've been
How
away for
much
like
is
2
Yaz
adventures,
aged?
which
Yeah,
is like,
yeah.
which is like probably like 4 hours or
Oh, I
something.
see.
Like,
Even real
surely.
for them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because-
you never find that out about Doctor Who,
Well, it's
like,
kind-
how in real time, like how many
I
times.
guess, but like, there's a weird kind of thing where like she hugs her mum, and it's like, dude, you've been gone for like 2 days. You're
Like,
still wearing the same.
when the
clothes.
companions sleep,
Like,
we never really
I know
find
they
this
never
out.
sleep anywhere. Although, like in
Like
the early
Amy,
episodes,
the
it
thing
happened.
is, like Amy and Rory had like breaks from the TARDIS, so they would like.
They had a
go-
room. They
Yeah,
famously had a
They
room
did
on
have
the
a room.
towers.
Loads of companions had a room.
Like I mean,
in
like
series.
Amy and Rory had a house. Like they clearly took like gaps from the TARDIS and
Yeah.
came back.
What's her face? Hateful woman Clara. We're just laughing
Oh,
about her.
Christ,
She
yeah.
went for adventures with the Doctor on Wednesdays. She had a regular week for most of the week, and then on Wednesdays she'd cut about with the
Clara
Doctor.
was the worst thing that happened to Doctor Who since
Everything else
Yeah,
that's happened to
Colin
Doctor Who, to be
Baker, maybe? I
fair.
don't know.
No, how dare you say that
that's,
about
that's horrible. I like
Baker.
Colin Baker as well.
I just think Clara's a bit annoying and boring. I don't think she's.
He was a bit annoying, a
Bad.
bit boring, and a bit
Anyway,
too in your
so,
face.
like-
We should probably not get distracted
Yeah,
by bloody
yeah.
Clara again.
Yeah. So we arrive in Sheffield, and then the everyone's like, I guess I said goodbye then. Like the Doctor weirdly hasn't asked them to like join her yet.
That's fine. I'm fine
I
with
guess
that.
it's like a character trait where she's like slightly more like anxious to ask him for whatever reason.
I guess that's a part of the Doctor's
Yeah.
character, and I guess it's something that she did that we can talk about,
Yeah.
which is more than the Doctor's been doing all season. But and I don't mind it. Like I think that's fine. I think some Doctors are like that.
Yeah.
Some Doctors are like,
They're clearly going for
They
like
take
a
the kind of
Eurodoc vibe.
backseat to the story itself and stuff, kind of makes sense.
And then eventually, because we're at Yaz's flat, just luckily, and then
Yaz is flat, and does Ryan also live nearby? I feel like they were like, "That's my
What was
flat,"
it?
and then Ryan was like,
Ryan
"Mine's
lived-
over
Or is
there."
it like
But
Graham's
Ryan
house
lives with
is like
Graham, does he
down the
not?
road?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Does it? Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah,
yes,
they-
were
yeah.
vaguely
Because he was like,
nearby.
oh, how's the house and all that. Oh,
Mhm.
yeah, it could just be how's the house.
Yeah, and then there's sort of like awkwardly, and then Yaz invites the Doctor in for tea. He's like, "Yeah, I'd bloody love a tea. I'm Northern me."
I like that. That was a good line.
Yeah, I really.
That was one of the
commented-
positives.
Yeah, I like that. I like that. part.
Why say, well, I have the chance. Even though this only happened like an hour ago, it feels like an age ago that all these
Yeah.
bits happened. Because, God, that was a slog.
And also, it really doesn't stick in your memory because it wasn't actually that good.
No,
So,
no.
You know, a lot of you just kind of walk past, and a lot of it didn't need to happen.
It was a lot of kind of like nothing and
Yeah.
also a slog at the same time. It somehow managed to be like nothing and a hard thing to get through.
Yeah.
What I loved, and I said this watching it, was how cheaply it was clearly made. Because they had 2 sets, they had about 5 actors.
They had
It wasn't
more than that.
It wasn't really like street scenes, like street scenes.
Yeah.
Well,
were
they had
really
a good
expensive.
few. They like that one building that they keep. It was on a
Yeah.
hill, and there's like
I can't-
cityscape behind
Yeah.
it. They like
Yeah.
that. I thought that was cool.
That was alright.
Yeah, so we go in, we finally meet Yaz's parents.
Like,
or
finally.
Dad.
Well, we
and her
should
sister.
say some context, and we assumed going in from the 10-second trailer, which are horrible trailers, that this was going to be a Yaz episode. And if you're a big fan of Yaz, I feel like you're going to be disappointed.
Yeah, because there was a little bit of development.
We
but
learn some
we met her
facts.
family and they seemed like fine.
They seem like a family.
Yeah.
They had
Dad
family
cooks.
interactions.
Our dad
Yeah.
can't cook. I thought it was Pecora, like maybe it was just the way they pronounced
They
it.
pronounced it differently
Is
to
it
make it think.
Pagora?
Yeah,
Pagora?
I was like, yes, Pakora,
Yeah,
but like,
it might not have been Pecora.
it might have us
Anyways.
just
I don't
been
think you can just
wildly
have
Apparently,
a
racist.
racist.
apparently it was
I
bad
think we
Pecora
probably
anyways.
we clearly don't know what it was.
No, but like I was excited to
I
find
thought
out.
it was could have been Pecora.
Yaz's dad's like, so there's just rubbish appearing in the flat and he's collecting it for evidence of conspiracy theories.
And the doctor was like snapped right round and she was like, conspiracy! I love conspiracies! And then
The first 10 minutes of this episode were easily the best. It went downhill quite
Yeah.
rapidly after that.
they go
Right after
outside.
the intro. Yeah.
They go outside the flat because they have to go take a parcel or someone has one of their parcels.
Yeah,
was-
the doctor finds like a little slip of paper that says there's parcel next to
It was a
I'll
proper
get it
like
when we make
post
it.
office.
Yeah.
We have like left, which I don't know because like
the depot thing. So.
people take them to the depot. You're right. They
Yeah.
don't just leave them.
You don't leave them. Well, you
Amazon guys will leave them.
Yeah.
Amazon guys will leave them under your mat
Yeah,
for you
because
to
that's
step
not the
on.
Royal Mail. They don't give a fuck. I mean, that's not like a reputable. These people get
Royal
paid
Mail,
slave
who's
wages.
famously like messed up the Red Dead revolver delivery this week, so they needed a wee
really?
bit. Yeah, people didn't get it for a day
I like
when
how
they
you
should
call
have.
the Red Dead Revolver. That was the one.
Red Dead revolvers, yeah.
That was
Well, I
weird-
wanted it to be called a third thing: Red Dead Revolver, Red
Yeah,
Dead
Redemption.
Redemption, Red Dead Revolution, Red Dead Resurrection, Red Dead Remembrance. Tied it back in there.
Redemption's too strong a brand for that.
It is. It is.
Yeah.
They go outside. There's a person waiting, and it was this science person. And it was at this point I
Just like
started.
this comedy science person.
It was this
like,
comedy science person.
She
and
wasn't a very good actress. I didn't like her for her
I thought she was at
performance.
points, but like overall no. But like at that point, I was just shouting "Stop adding characters" at the screen because it's already cluttered.
Oh yeah, because we should also say by this point we've already had a scene with what we discover is Yaz's mum, who I guess was at a hotel and then just gets fired by this slightly oafish man who has like what I thought was a sort of semi-throwaway line about his chances in 2020 because I thought it's like.
Haha,
like a
he's
US
Trump.
He's
yeah,
Trump,
he's like a US
yeah.
politician. We didn't know it was a hotel at that point.
We didn't know it was a
but-
hotel, and we didn't know like he was outright Trump.
Yeah, I assumed he was like a businessman, like, and then they just got
Yeah.
like the 2020 line in for laughs. But
That
no,
whole scene was really
it
weird
just-
because it was like a played serious but also played for laughs scene where he was like evil Trump being like, "No, get results," and he has like a bodyguard called Kevin that he just calls Kevin, and he's like, "Why did you let them in, Kevin?" And like Yaz's mum just like stumbles into this evil meeting
and then gets fired.
and then gets fired by Trump.
I thought Yaz's
And then,
mom was
like-
gonna die at that point. I was like, "You're dead. You're totally gonna die right now." But no,
Yeah, the scene
totally
plays it
not
as
really.
like, "I'm Trump and I'm just firing you because I'm evil and villainous." But then later in the episode, he's like, "Come see your mum's handiwork," and like, there's like spider webs in the room, and she's like, "Clearly, she needed to be fired."
Yeah.
Like, it's like, why did you justify him? But like, you didn't have to justify. He's just a horrible Trump guy. Like, you
Yeah.
can fire Yaz's. You don't have to like tie it in that well.
Listen, does he actually think she put the spider? Why?
Yeah, yeah.
Simultaneously, Graham didn't come in for tea because he wanted to head back to the home, and then there's a like probably my favorite part of the episode is when he goes home and he sees like.
Grace.
Forget her name,
Grace.
Grain. Yeah.
Grace.
And it's like, oh yeah, the bin's collected on this day. Which is kind of like, I know I said this before, but I feel like Bradley, like Graham's much older than Bradley Walsh is.
Yeah.
And like I can't make it work in
Yeah.
my head. Because like Bradley,
He's wearing a wig.
yeah, like Bradley Walsh wouldn't have had any problem with the bin date, but apparently Graham does. It's fine.
Well, that's just a really good, like, relatable, real thing.
It
and
is,
it's
yeah.
really sad.
There's my favorite part of that
It's
episode,
problematic though, in that they've sectioned off the emotional weight of the episode to belong to Graham.
Yeah, and not Yaz.
Not Yaz. And to be fair, maybe they didn't set out with the intentions of making a Yaz episode. They probably should have.
Yeah.
Maybe that'll come later.
I guess.
Maybe Yaz will never get an episode, and then she'll just leave at the end of the series, and no one will care because they've never bothered to put any time in with her.
Well, this is something I never understood. Do you remember in the first episode she's talking to that controller guy?
Mm-hmm.
I thought that was her dad.
Oh,
Because he kind of made reference that they were related.
Like, this is
sure.
an episode, and there's still nothing, like, why
We don't
does
know
she become a
anything about
police
her.
officer? Like, what drives her? Like, what does she want to be?
She said at the end of this episode, which we'll get to, that she wants to see more of
Yeah.
the universe, which is fine, and that's probably something everyone would say
Yeah.
once given
Yeah,
a time and
exactly.
space machine.
Like,
And-
it's weird, because, like, I guess I don't need, like, every character to have, like, their gimmick or
No,
whatever.
I think
but there's
we've-
something empty about her character.
We've probably, I was thinking about this on the way over, but we've probably been kind of pushed here by kind of Russell T Davis and his kind of cartoony writing, because like,
Yeah.
a lot of the companions, you're like, I know what that guy is.
Right.
He's Bugs Bunny, or he's like Captain Jack Harkness. Like,
Here's two ways you can.
The
look
thing is,
at
also, the
this.
thing is, like, Ryan is that character.
yeah.
Because he's, like, kind of, like, dim,
Young
and he's
and
got
dim
dyspraxia.
I don't know if he's dim. I just think he's just not that fun or likable. Like he says and does
I
things.
quite
that-
like him. He's
I
a
like
bit-
him.
I like him in
He's
bits,
alright.
but then
Yeah.
other times I'm like, really,
I
Ryan?
really like Ryan. There's a great scene where like the Doctor is speaking, and then Ryan was just playing with the like
Yeah,
the
yeah.
light in the background to make like spider hands. I like that.
I kinda
That was
said-
a good scene.
I kind of said this to you like when we were watching it. Is like, at least none of these characters we know are going to be integral to the overall arc of the plot. As in,
I hope
they
not.
are going
Like,
to be the fucking
Trump
messiah.
guy, Trump
like
guy,
all of
Trump
them
guy
are.
did just walk away.
Trump guy.
Yeah.
Do you mean like the companions, or do you
I
mean,
mean,
like
like the companion. Because every
Mm.
time there's a fucking companion, ever since RTD took
Mm.
over, do we swear in this podcast?
we kind of
We do now.
Yeah.
We
it's
basically
fine.
I
every
wouldn't
time
go
we have
overboard.
them, they end up. What happens is, they always are integral to it. Like Rose was Bad Wolf and all that kind of stuff. and
Rose
then-
was a space god.
and then it turned out like Clara was some kind of
Clara
thing
was-
as well.
Clara
like-
went into
Clara
the Doctor's
became a
timeline.
thing.
and then Amy became a thing, and they all
Amy
became
didn't really
things.
become the thing, did she? Amy just kind of birthed his wife.
Martha didn't. Donna became like
Martha
half
did good
Time
work.
Lord.
I don't like Martha
I
that
was
much,
like,
but like,
I was saying this to Michael yesterday. Martha is the only New Who companion who just got away totally fine.
Yeah.
I'd say, no,
The
no, like,
only one.
No,
the
like-
only one.
I don't like Martha that much. She's not that much fun, but I'm not going to have that taken away from her because she like walked the Earth for an entire year,
Yeah.
like a hellscape Earth, and put a team together and put like a myth arc out into the world. Like she went and spoke to everyone,
No, but
and
like-
explained the plot of
The
Doctor
point
Who.
is, like, Rose parallel universe, Donna mind white,
Didn't like
Yeah.
the last thing I remember of Martha wasn't she like
Amy and
fighting?
Rory locked in New York.
Martha had to get married to Mickey. Like she did not get out of it fine at all. She got married to Mickey, and then like
I totally forgot about that.
Did they not move to that shitty other parallel Earth?
Mickey
where they had
kept
to
jumping
fight
between them,
Cybermen?
like-
Yeah.
Mickey's amazing in Journey's End because she's like the doctor's like, I'll take you back to the other Earth, and he's like, no, it's fine. Like my gran died again. Like she died peacefully and had a great life, and I got to have time with her, but she's dead now, so I'll just cut about the main world again. And the doctor's like, all right, fair play. And then you see him in the Tennant's last one, and he's like married to Martha somehow.
Yeah, they never,
And-
did they ever have one scene where they
Not
like,
really. I
When they
mean,
even spoke. Yeah. I mean,
maybe Big Finish tackles that at some point. But
I
that
feel like-
happened.
I feel like if that happened now, there would be a lot more blowback against it.
Oh yeah, it's so weird. Like it's so weird. And then like they're together and they're like fighting Sontarans in like a warehouse that's in a quarry somehow. Like is it implied to be Earth, or is that like some future hellscape that they're just in?
is that the one where the Doctor just turns up with a mallet?
He turns
and
up with a mallet and,
bashes
like,
it on the
walks
head
in.
We
with
should
the
probably
weak
get to the
spot.
fact that there was spiders in this episode.
Yeah.
There was spiders.
Like we're sort of seeing like spider webs everywhere, and they finally
Yeah.
get into this the person where there's supposed to be a delivery. Spider webs everywhere, and the scientist has been entombed, like encased in like webs.
She's not a
It
scientist.
really
She worked in
worked.
admin.
yeah.
But it
She was
worked
a
really-
scientist's friend.
Yeah.
But it still worked really well. That
High body
spider
count,
casing.
like just
Mm.
death.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
Although the death feels all a bit meaningless at the end.
Oh,
Like,
yeah,
to
like, no one
a
of
degree,
consequence died.
Where the Doctor seems to care more about the fucking spiders. than
We'll
the
get
people
to
the
that.
spiders have killed. Yeah, we'll get to that.
We'll
We'll talk about it.
there's a spider, and like, see when it first appeared, because Graham finds one in his attic,
Yeah.
unconnected to everything. It's just because the spiders in Sheffield are active, and it apparently it like shed
Only
its
in
skin
Sheffield.
only in Sheffield.
South Yorkshire, North
No,
Yorkshire.
but like it shed its skin, and like I got a reaction out of me because he was like touching it. I was like,
Yeah,
"Oh,
so
why are you touching it?"
This is just a comment about the spiders in general. The spiders were much more scary when you didn't see them in full, like when it was just like little flickers or like under a door or something like that.
Or
Like,
like in
way more
shadow and
effective.
that.
When you saw the full thing, they were like fine.
You
but
two were saying that the CGI was bad. I thought it was alright.
It was
I think
alright.
it
It
had
was
to be
alright to
bad.
middle in. There
See
was
when,
a few dodgy
see when the
shots.
spider came down on its wee web?
That
Like,
was
I thought that was a
good.
good,
That was good.
little bit.
And see the bit where like Ryan finds it, and it's, you just think it's a shape in the drawer, but then it moves. It's like, yeah, that was fucking scary. That was good.
And like the bit that broke me was that they find that spider in the admin lady's room, and she's entombed in a web and just died like Frodo, or died like Frodo would of in the Return of the King. And then they leave her, and she's like, "Oh, I'm so sorry." And then they defeat the spider there by like getting vinegar from the kitchen,
Like
which is
that.
exactly what happened in the 4th episode of RTD's first season with the Slitheen.
Oh yeah.
Like the Slitheen are like exploded when they
Oh,
got.
that felt familiar.
But like the placement of modern day Earth taking companions back.
Fourth episode.
4th episode, vinegar broke me. Like I was like, "Are you really what?
This ties
Surely
back
you must know."
This ties back into the Doctor not really doing any. I feel like the main things that she's done in 2 episodes has been like science stuff. Like
That's what the Doctor does.
Chemistry.
Yeah, that's what. The
And like
Doctor's
it's like
doing.
amateur chemistry stuff. Like I've just
Yeah.
rigged something up. I think that's fine.
It's
just-
not like Moffat style, like semi, but like grandiose.
There's a
battle
bit-
book.
There's a bit because the Doctor's been kind of
It's
heavy.
like slightly down to earth.
Yeah, it's more
chemistry,
simple
yeah.
because you know how people
Bit
were
more
complaining that Moffat was too complicated, which I suppose they've taken that note on board. But like, there was a bit where the Doctor, there was like a hole in the ground, and we, the audience, everyone had seen that a giant spider had just burst out of it, and then she went to investigate, and she just like did a like sonic screwdriver over it.
Yeah.
What was this? The reading telling her? Spiders. There's spiders down there.
It's like that bit in Men in Black where it's like, please don't turn green.
So yeah,
Turn
It's a bug.
Yaz goes to pick up her mum because she's been fired.
She's been
at-
fired.
At this
Yeah.
hotel where we find out that there's basically Donald Trump.
Donald Trump ordered his bodyguard to like pull a gun on Yaz and her mum, and like Yaz's mum is just like, because he's like, "Oh, I fired you, and you told you to get out, but then you brought another person in," and then she's like, I phoned for a lift, and she's my daughter, and she's come to pick me up."
Graham and Ryan recognise Donald Trump. I forget, it's something Anderson or something.
Yeah.
John
Yeah,
Anderson,
it
Jack
was quite
Anderson
a
or
Scottish
something.
because
Yeah.
it's Scottish, I don't know. And like, yeah, it was like Graham and Ryan recognise. He's oh, it's that guy, and then I don't know who you're talking about. And then we find with psychic paper. There's a brief flash. Of
There was a
psychic
bit,
paper.
yeah, there was a bit, I forgot it was.
It was like really, really quick. Like I
Yeah.
quite liked it. She was just like,
Like it could have been just a blank piece of
Yeah.
paper. Like, you know, like the thing.
She says crisis investigators, which is what the Doctor should say every single time.
Yeah.
Like, there's a crisis here, clearly. I'm here to investigate.
and all
Paper.
for Donald Trump's like, this is my hotel. Roar.
It's my hotel and I'll do what I want. And
It's a bit like 40 Towers, actually, a little bit, isn't it? Because it's like.
that would have been better.
That would have been a lot better.
That would have been an
If it
episode
was
I
just
would have
like John
watched.
Cleese just playing it totally
His
straight.
bodyguard Kevin also gets entombed, and like there's like a jacuzzi. And
There's a
then he gets
jacuzzi
sucked
where a
into the
giant
jacuzzi.
spider, which I thought was a good scene. See
Yeah.
with the dirt under the jacuzzi. I don't know why there was
Yeah.
dirt under the jacuzzi, but like it blasted out and it was like slow mo. Thought that was good.
Yeah,
Thought it was a good
alright.
little
That
bit.
worked really well.
Like, and then he like left them in the room. He like Donald Trump exited and left Kevin in there to deal with the giant spider. And it went on for a bit where Kevin was screaming, and it was kind of a wee bit nasty for Doctor Who. And then Kevin wasn't dead by that point because like Trump was like, "Oh, I left my damn cell in like the room," and then Kevin like reaches up to get his cell phone. After we thought he was dead,
Yeah, but-
and then the spider drags him away, and he's like, "No!"
I think
Craig already mentioned this. It felt like a Scooby Doo episode.
It felt like a Scooby.
Yeah.
At a certain point, it hit this like the Scooby Doo like. I don't know if we just jump straight to the explanation because I feel like the episode does. There's a room.
There was a lot of just room jumping with spiders.
Yeah, they go
like,
to-
nothing really happened.
No, and like
it was more Trump-esque. Like you walked about rooms, there was more spider stuff happened, and then like because the Doctor's trying to work out like why are the spiders centered on this hotel, and we discover that
there was a
because-
whole scene before this where the science lady takes them to a lab. And it was very like third Doctor-y where she explained
Yeah.
stuff that was happening. They had a map of unusual spider activity in Sheffield, which I paused the video and laughed at for a
that's
while.
Ferengi, man. That's so good Ferengi.
Yeah.
Oh, we need to talk about that effect. You know how there was like the map of spider
Yeah.
activity, and then like like zoomed in on the map and
Is
then
it-
to the hotel.
Yeah.
Like it was like
The doctor did like a scribbling on the board and you couldn't see what she was doing, and then she kind of made a web and there was a vague circle in the middle and she's like, where's that? And like the science people had been making Spider-Man spiders.
Yeah.
They're making genetically engineered
yeah,
spiders.
like that scene. I literally said to Andrew, like, this is like Peter Parker origins.
yeah. They had a
Genetically engineered super spiders.
genetically engineered super spider, and they had a bit where they were like, spiders like web stronger than steel, basically, and they made a joke. And
Yeah,
they were-
But
Stop
they never
playing
actually.
with it.
But
Yeah.
they never actually said no. But they never actually said why they were doing it. It was like, why are you doing this?
you don't ask scientists why.
What?
You don't ask them, you just give them the money
Call
and
the
let them do the
science here.
science.
I'm really fond of comedy scientists. With
Yeah.
comedy scientists. Like.
In Sheffield, for whatever reason, they're deving super spiders that never die and get bigger.
It's just like,
They
listen
kept
here,
saying-
we're scientists.
We're science, okay? Science is happening.
So we discover that Donald Trump has got a penchant for like
Regenerating.
regenerating like old coal mines.
Well, industrial areas.
Industrial areas. In this case, it was a coal mine.
Well, in this case, it was coal mine, and Yaz's mum was like, it was a coal mine, and she was like really proud.
Yeah.
This is coal country.
Yeah.
we did coal here until
This year-
Thatcher.
We did cunt until Thatcher.
The sheer like Brexitiness of
Yeah.
like, coal mine. Right?
Coolin'.
Oh,
It was a
no
coal
Thing you
anymore.
can rely on, black fucking bricks.
In my day, this was all fucking coal.
It's
And
cool.
all
It's
the
small
men,
bags
coal
without the filters and everything.
steel, and all the men walked around fucking dirty every fucking day.
That's
We
not
all
exactly
died
what
at
she said.
47. because
But that's
the
what her
coal was
expression said. So good acting, to be fair.
Yeah.
gone. Yeah.
And then like,
Then we like, and then
she
they were
goes
doing
down, and it's just like, I guess it's
these
not a
comedy
Scooby-Doo plot.
caves in the hotel.
Yeah, there's a door and it's like, danger, don't go in high voltage or whatever. And they open the door and it's immediately like a cave network, like from the underground of a Gears of War game.
But even better than that, this cave has working lights.
Working lights.
Like, rows of them.
Industrial lights that they've strung down, that the spiders haven't webbed at all. There's
Yeah.
a remarkably
Like,
like,
why
little
did they not
webs.
make these caves safe? Like, surely it's unsafe to build a hotel off this on top of
An
this
unlocked
structure.
door. Like it had yellow signs, so fair play. Any tourists that wandered in there, they knew
It's
what they were
their
getting.
problem. Yeah.
But it was just like a sheer like hotel to underground labyrinth
Yeah.
where the Donald Trump guy has a sideline in his business, or a different business, because he was like, oh, I own lots of businesses.
Yeah.
One of them is industrial
Dumping
waste
waste.
dumping.
Which it turned out is where the waste and Yaz's flat.
The
appeared from.
carcasses of the spiders.
Like literally, the waste subplot was that episode of The Simpsons.
Yeah.
Like there was too much waste and it was coming out of other places.
Yeah,
Like drains and stuff.
Homer, the bin men,
Yeah.
the garbage men, and like
Garbage man, okay.
they get like everywhere else's garbage and bury it under Springfield for
Yeah.
the. They get so they were burying like toxic waste, and the doctor name checks some chemicals, and she's like, "It's not going anywhere. It's just under here." And it's like, "Yeah, that's a dumb thing. Like, surely like this business would have never have gotten off the ground, but apparently here we are." And then the toxic waste combined with the spider carcasses.
To cause the spiders to like grow weirdly,
Grow big.
and, like their normal life cycles got weirded.
And like just
There was no science in this explanation, considering like there was the vinegar science
Yeah.
before. This just had no science now.
they're just like they fused toxic waste, spider carcasses, big. And I guess this is the plot of the Green Death, the
Yeah.
John Pertwee
Yeah.
Third Doctor episode. If you've ever seen that, where like there was a coal mine in Wales, and there was toxic waste being buried by this AI, and then it fused with maggots, and it made giant maggots. And like when I think about it like that, I can justify it, and I suppose I can do that with anything. If you say this plot was just a Third Doctor plot, I'm fine with it.
Yeah.
So this was just a Third Doctor spider plot, I guess. It had like an ecological message, and it was also, I guess, anti-Trump. But
It was so bizarrely anti-Trump. Like, it
He
didn't
wrote
actually
that in
make any real
2018.
reference.
The thing is, the Trump character like hated Trump. Like,
Yeah.
it's
yeah,
so
he had a
weird.
line about how
Like,
you just
Trump
don't
was
say
real.
that name.
So they make like Trump character, and then they make Trump a real thing anyway. So it's like, what the fuck is going on?
Yeah, like,
they're
and also,
watching
like,
this
who's
going,
president? Like, how does the president system work in Doctor Who? Because remember in the Last of the Time Lords, there was some random American president
Yeah.
that John Sim murdered on TV.
Yeah.
And like, all right, maybe that got reset, but they specifically in that episode mentioned that it happened. The reset happens just after the president's murdered. Like, why go to all that trouble? Just oh. Also,
Damn.
the way that character exits, we should probably just talk about it now. The way the way Trump exits, there's a giant spider that Ryan.
No, we should no. We need to get to
Yeah,
that
we need
part.
to get
we need to get that part. Right.
Because that's so in the cave, Trump has like a panic room with a bolt down weapon.
No, I think that's just in the hotel.
That's just in the hotel.
Yeah.
So his thought is we'll go there and then fuck it, we'll just kill the spider.
We definitely need to talk about this because they go there and he's got I've got a game system, a book which I quite like.
Food buckets.
Food buckets.
And he's like, all these guns to kill the
We've got
spiders.
guns.
And then Ryan's like, oh no.
Well, the Doctor will only like that.
And she doesn't.
And she doesn't, and that is a trait of the Doctor's, but also no, the
That's
Doctor
people
will murder anything.
it's
The Doctor will come at you with anything.
Like, I kind of think about it, it's like, the more and more you think about it, it's like, dude, the whole thing about the Doctor is that the Doctor kind of killed 2 races in one go with one thing.
That was one day for him.
That was one day.
One
Yeah,
day.
one day. Killing some spiders, garden variety spiders, is totally fine.
Do you remember when he genocided the Silence that were on Earth?
Yeah.
He made that happen.
Do you remember he just kind of genocide? Do you remember he genocided the Arachnids? Not even just painlessly. Drowned them.
Drowned their
Fucking drowned
babies.
children.
The
Yeah.
babies were coming up and he's like, nah, this can't be happening. Drown them.
Sick, manipulative bastard. Right?
I
what
joke
this
that
is.
his one move is genocide, but that's literally all the Doctor can do is genocide.
Just genocide.
And I'm alright with that, but then you try and make out like he doesn't.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I was like, oh no, you can't do that. And then, Ryan comes up with the.
Well, there's a line before that where the Trump president's really on the nose Americanism,
yeah.
where
This country is insane! What are you doing?
just get
Shoot
a gun and
them.
shoot people like a civilized person, which I don't know if I like or hate,
didn't
but
actually play particularly well given what happened yesterday.
it's never going to play well.
Yeah,
But
actually, a good point. But the other kind of side to it is we're not talking about
Well, I guess
spiders.
it did because it's meant
Yeah.
obviously.
spiders are people too, okay?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I meant to be a joke about how America's insane.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
They did it
oh
in
my
the most
god,
bizarre way, especially not by setting it in America.
yeah, it was in Sheffield in a hotel. by
What
a
were the
golf
spiders
course.
supposed to be in this analog, in this
They're
kind of
they're
metaphor
wild,
then, or
they're wild
whatever?
spiders. They're cool guys because they made a point of them not being because they're gene spiders. They're gene enhanced, but they're also just spiders that you would see in your house. They're big ones.
Okay.
So they're just animals. Be nice to
I
animals.
do
normal spiders, and this I think for 4 episodes in we can say this series has a monster problem.
A monster-sized problem.
there's
Yes and yes.
I'm fine with it, but it just feels like for a back to basics series, I've not had any original monster ideas. Really.
Well, they had Tim Shaw. He's a very new Who monster,
yeah.
and they made overtones of him being a greater race of things.
Yeah, so they're gonna come back.
There,
Yeah.
there wasn't really a reference to any over ongoing arc in this.
The president's
episode.
very much going to come back.
Yeah,
the Doctor's
yeah.
going to have to deal with the president.
Oh, God.
Evil president.
Yeah, we should probably get to how they resolve the spider situation.
Oh,
Like-
God.
They've got the panic room, and the Doctor has a line about spiders see via vibrations, and then Ryan. I don't know if you want to tell this because I kind of enjoyed it, but I was laughing for most of the things.
I don't really know what to say. There's that line about them, and then Ryan just has the idea that he can play grime music, and this will attract all of the spiders.
He utilizes sick beats,
The
and
plan is to lock all of the spiders in the panic room. That's
the
literally it.
humane way to deal with it because there's food in there,
Yeah.
but also there's hundreds of thousands of spiders that'll probably fight and eat each other, and
Also, it's a totally finite area, and you basically
finite-
put them into a room that's smaller than a jail cell, so it's not even humane by
it's a
humane standards.
it's a cubic thunderdome is what it is.
Bartertown in this little 2 foot by 4 fucking room.
Just leave
with,
them in there,
food buckets.
Just close the hotel
What
or
if someone
leave.
opens the room after they leave?
Tell
they've
unit,
not thought about
phone
anything
unit, and be
about-
oh unit,
Yeah.
there's these giant
This
spiders,
is exactly
right?
what unit is designed to do.
Unit, right? Great one. These spiders are not immune to bullets, so get yourselves out here.
All we need
Like-
right now is you guys with loads of guns.
Unit, right? Just cordon it off. There's a landfill thing under it. The spiders will probably stay there.
Just set up a unit camp. Just set up a corner around the hotel and set up a comedy unit camp.
I feel like, a comedy unit. What about all the spiders in Sheffield? Because there was one.
What about the normal spiders? Like,
Did they just?
Was there spiders marching through the streets? That would have been an RTD shot.
Yeah, absolutely. It's like, and a newscast is like, there are spiders walking through the streets. It's madness here in
It would have been London.
Yeah, it would have been
But then
London.
you see people
I
getting
haven't seen the like before.
Yeah. God.
Like, we know that other houses had the spiders because Graham's
house just had one in the attic.
Does this mean there would have been spiders?
Well, they were saying that
but we never saw any of this. We just saw them in the vicinity of the hotel marching to the beat of the grimy music.
Well, there was a big mummy spider in the hotel lobby or the hotel ballroom that Ryan and I was going to say Brian, but Ryan and Graham, Ryan and Bradley Walsh have like an emotional moment where there was a letter that Graham gave, I can't even make it up, Bradders gave Ryan, and it was about his dad, because his dad never came to his nan's funeral, and I think that stuff's good, like good domestic drama. I don't particularly care. I thought it was really well done in the first episode where the dad didn't turn up. I was like, that's really horrible, I'll remember that. But that happened, and they were like, did you check the ceiling? And then I looked up, and there's like a giant comedy spider, like a boss spider, and like I was into that, and then that doesn't do anything. They run away from it. I feel like a door defeats that spider. I feel like all the spiders in this episode are defeated by wooden doors.
No, one is defeated by a pot.
One is
pot. That pot bit.
Like that
They specifically, because that was when it was the most Scooby-Doo,
Yeah.
because they left Shaggy, like Bradley Walsh, as bait, and he was like rot, like there was just
He
Scooby-Doo.
didn't run away. He was just
No,
standing there.
because they gave Ryan the bucket to catch the aggressively dyspraxic man to deal with the spider, which he
They always
does.
focus on the dyspraxia, but
They
They focus on the
But they
dyspraxia.
don't really, because
They
like at
haven't
one
in the
point,
last two. The first two episodes had it though.
I don't know if they know what dyspraxia
Because it doesn't
is.
seem to work. Because at one point he can't climb a ladder, but in the exact same episode, he's fucking marksman shooting.
No scoping
all these-
robots.
Yeah, exactly. Like all these fucking
Call
robots.
of Duty.
Yeah, Call of Duty. Yeah, 5 seconds. I mean, it's just like
It's
dude, how the fuck are you
inconsistent,
doing that?
is what it is.
Why are you doing that? How the fuck? Are
I
you
feel like
doing
they
that?
knew what dyspraxia was at some
you
point in
can't
the writing
even
process,
bring-
but no longer do anymore.
You can't even blame like Bender because all these episodes have been written by Chris
Yeah,
Chibnall.
he's had a very like a hand in all of them and a close eye on each one of them. So it's bizarre.
let's not forget, this is the man, and I forgot this until today. This is the same man that gave us Torchwood.
You give us, these episodes are very Torchwood.
Yeah.
Like a
Actually,
spider.
I said to Mar, like quite a lot of that episode felt like the Sarah Jane adventures.
Yeah, it was the
There's
Sarah
just
Jane
something
adventures.
about it.
I find see when
Like
you
the
say
villain
that.
was very Sarah
Yeah.
Jane.
Yeah,
adventures.
see when you say that, like that sounds like a compliment to me. See when you say something's very Torchwood, that's an insult. But when you're like, oh, the Sarah Jane Adventures episode, I had a good time.
It was
Like,
totally all over the place.
aye.
It
but, like-
wasn't even particularly great at being like a fun episode.
No, you were saying that, which I thought was really like apt because like you said they could have gone like full fun. with it.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
feel silly like spiders. Like you would have had a better resolution than Grime.
Eight-legged freaks. I feel like that was them trying to be fun. And
Yeah.
I'm sure that's fun for someone.
If
But
that's their level
It
of
didn't work for
fun,
me,
we're
'cause-
not going to get anywhere with this series,
No.
unfortunately. I mean, like, I've been defending the series up until this point, and this is where I'm
I
saying,
think-
this is bullshit. Like,
think-
this didn't work.
no, this was one that didn't have because last week I want to say that this week's episode was better, kind of like moment to moment written than last week's because last week's had a really important message and like a heartfelt bit
Yeah.
and like subject. But like I felt like all the dialogue linking all the scenes was horrible. But this one I was like things are fine. I wasn't rolling my eyes as much at everything that was being like exposited because the series has a huge problem with explaining what happens. And like, see with that plot where they were getting the spiders to go into the room via grind, there was a bit where like Bradley Walsh was like, can't believe all the spiders are walking into the room because of the music we're playing. And I was like, oh, you didn't have to say, oh, I get it. We're watching the episode.
They're
But, like-
acting like it's
Like
an
I
audio drama.
can
so, like,
get like the complaints about how Moffat it was too complicated and their plot resolutions were.
Yes
But
and
this
no.
has gone way too far the other way.
I kind of like it, but the Doctor's not as fun as I'd like the Doctor. See, if the Doctor was more... The Doctor is
Yeah.
fun, but not like...
Yeah, so we should
Doctors are-
actually say, like, the big spider, like, the doctor comes out and is like, oh yeah, it's suffering.
Well, the doctor doesn't notice that. The science lady does. The science lady says, you notice that. And like the big spider can't climb the walls to get into the panic room, which is fair play because that spider would probably take up all of the panic room.
Yeah.
But it's like it's grown too big and it can't breathe anymore, which I thought was a real rain on my silly spider episode parade. I was just like, I was having a good time, but now I'm sad for that
And
spider.
then, so then Trump comes up and just, like, shoots it.
Trump comes up and Trump's been like, has Kevin's gun
Yeah.
that he picked up from Kevin's web in the middle of the episode, and he's been talking about guns, and he's like, oh, I've got a gun, this is like, I'm in charge now because I've got a gun, and then he's just like, no, I'm going to kill the giant spider, and it's such a weird moment, because you kind of see what they're trying to do, it's like, he's horrible Trump American man with
Yeah.
guns, but like, it's a giant spider,
Spider.
which
Which,
is a
people would have a right to be scared of.
a giant spider who is suffering, who can't breathe and can't get to be with his pals.
And the doctor's just saying, like, you
No.
need to let it suffer?
The doctor, it'd be fine if the doctor was like, I'll take it in my TARDIS and like pop it off on a planet or
put
whatever.
It say,
Yeah.
like,
But the doc-
let it die in dignity. But she doesn't
And you
offer
can-
anything. She doesn't
You can
do
say
anything.
that the guy doesn't give her a chance or whatever, but like, that's fine for internally in the episode, but externally when we were watching it, we're like, why didn't they write a funner thing for the doctor to do
so
here?
like he kills the spider and then he just walks off.
I loved his wee walk off though. See when he's looking in the distance, you see him kind of waddling away. I thought that was hilarious.
This
Well, like,
actually
the
harks back.
doctor doesn't do it. Like if that was Matt Smith or Capaldi,
Yeah.
they would have had a word with him.
Or Tennant or anyone.
Yeah.
Like, he comes up and doesn't just walk away, he shoots it and then he says, I'll be a threat later in the series, and then leaves. And it's like,
This kind of harks back to something that I noticed. See in the first episode, right,
Mhm.
of Tim Shaw, and he gets knocked off.
Yeah.
By Thingy.
Thingy.
Yeah, I can't
Man
remember his
thing.
name. Yeah,
Guy.
and she's like, you had no right to do that. I was like, he had literally every right to do that.
That
He
man was going to
literally-
skin him alive
Yeah.
and wear him on his face.
He was actually going to eat him and take his teeth.
Yeah.
So,
I can't
yes,
wait
no,
for
they
Tim-
did.
I can't wait for Tim Shaw and Donald Trump to be in the same scene.
Oh god, yeah.
Donald Trump rises to presidency via the influence of Tim Shaw. The sheer teeth that they have at their disposal to
Tim Shaw.
They go into business.
Tim Shaw
because
was
he
actually being
understands
hired by
business.
Donald Trump.
I don't really understand why they had to put Donald Trump in it because obviously we don't like him and everything.
They were going
but-
for,
I have
they were
discovered
going for,
this
a
recently.
Comedy,
It's been 2 years,
Spider
you
episodes,
know.
we'll get a fun villain in.
Well, you put Donald Trump in there to be eaten by spiders.
Yeah.
That's the cathartic thing.
You're perfectly right.
Yeah.
But that did not happen.
If this was a proper horror film, he'd have been horrible for the whole time,
Yeah.
and then he'd have his head bitten off
Yes.
by
He
a
was-
spider.
He was sort of like the unintentional villain, like he didn't set out to cause any of this.
And I thought he was an alright actor.
Yeah.
He was horrible, but he was kind of memorable,
Yeah.
which is
Yeah.
more than you can say for a lot of things in the episode.
His suit never got creased or nothing.
No,
His hair was
no.
perfect the whole time somehow. Shooting spiders and whatnot. He was absolutely
he was
fine.
down
He
in
fucking
spiders.
going for
He
it.
one-shotted that giant spider with a pistol.
Yeah.
And I was dying, but come on.
But yeah, it's like then
Well done.
Then-
Maybe you would vote for him on that basis. Trump
then we-
wouldn't do shit like that.
then we
His
think-
anti-spider platform.
then we finally get
I'd
the scene,
go for
which
that.
is another favourite part of the episode. Is a bit. I liked Graham's part where he was like I want to come with you because I can't handle the empty house.
I think
I'd rather
Graham
deal with my grief.
is
Graham is
bizarrely
the
a
standout
great-
character.
Yeah,
Graham
of the
is by
season.
far the standout character. Even more so than the Doctor.
Yeah.
Ryan's slightly Yaz just has.
Yaz is there.
Yaz had
Ryan
Graham-
is there to a certain
Yeah,
degree
yeah,
with
but
it as well.
he sort of goes with Graham.
Mhm, yeah.
Graham is the bedrock of the show at this point.
A
Yeah.
little bit actually.
He didn't have any bus powers this week, but to me,
Every week, to be fair.
Yeah.
to,
it has
to,
been
me,
a bus
to me, the
powers.
tonal shift of Graham having I need to come with you to combat the grief, and then Yaz was just I want to see things.
Ryan's gran is dead.
Yeah.
He should be sad.
Yeah.
A little bit as well.
Yeah,
'Cause,
all
the-
the grief seems to be focuses. Maybe that'll catch up with Ryan because
That-
obviously Ryan's
Yeah.
young and brash. Maybe he's trying to put a front on it.
Aye, maybe I can't keep saying maybe it'll happen later though, because you can't really.
Yeah, we're almost. Can I just say we're almost halfway into?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I kind of like that it was just spiders. I kind of
Yeah. It's fine. I'm okay with it just being spiders because
it's simple enough,
kind of shit.
and they didn't do anything with it to
Nah.
warrant it. But them just being alright, spiders.
Considering the episode title, it was a disappointment.
Oh, aye.
to
We
the
were talking
episode
about this
title.
because you told me the episode title and we didn't see the trailer. I didn't see anything about it. And I was like, Arachnids in the UK. Is it going to be 70s Sheffield?
Yeah.
I would have
Like,
expected way more
Punk spiders.
spiders
That would have been
in
a
the
lot
streets of
cooler.
Sheffield. Like, I think that would have been a better episode in some respects than what we got. Like, if he's,
I know we love RTD, but like I want if they're going to do
The thing
RTD
is, if
stuff,
you're
I want
gonna
him
do-
to do it. Like, I
yeah,
want
if you're
them.
going to do an RTD episode, do an RTD episode.
Yeah,
It just doesn't really fit, you know. It's not.
Like,
they're
there.
getting at a joke.
I think in terms of art, like
Yeah, they're
like
getting there. It's
Chris,
just not
Chris
there.
Chibnall has written a better RTD episode than that because the Power of Free is a better RTD
Yeah.
episode than that.
This one was kind of another. It was a base under siege because they were.
Shit, really.
I like the Power of Free.
Oh, I
Power of Three's pretty good.
The
Like,
Power
I
of Three
really
with
like
all
the Power
the
of Free.
cubes.
Yeah.
The
That's
Power
what
of Three's
I'm
good
thinking
for like 2/3 of it, and then the last third is very
Yeah.
bad. See when they explain the cubes and it's like a heart attack machine,
Oh god.
and then there's that alien that they go up to the ship of, and he's like, "Haha, it was a
Oh,
plan,"
terrible.
which I kind of like, but like,
Yeah.
it's
Like Chris Chibnall's good at some stuff. But I'm still not.
that episode doesn't really do anything to justify
That-
its existence.
That is
Like-
not the man who wrote Broadchurch. Put it
Oh,
that
yeah,
way.
no.
I don't want him to write Broadchurch though. Like I want it to be fun Doctor Who, or I guess I want him to like do an episode that is just Broadchurch and do an entirely
He's
bleak,
clearly
depressing
talented.
one.
There's clearly talent, and there's a lot in this like incarnation of Doctor Who to admire.
Mm.
But like
I like a lot of
it.
it.
It feels really modern. Like it's got like a fresh, diverse cast. Like I really like
Aye.
that side of it.
It's
And
good
it looks
they're
really
doing
good,
the Trump,
but, like-
I guess.
Yeah.
There's just like there's still something that makes me think he's not got like the spark as a sci-fi writer to be the Doctor Who showrunner so far. Like,
None of
maybe that'll
the-
come, like,
Well, I thought I liked the spark. Like, see the race episode. I liked the concept of the space race. I thought was banging.
Yeah.
And then it was just a quarry. Even though it was like, even though it was South Africa, even though they pushed the boat out for
Sure,
visions and
yeah.
stuff, it was still those two people and the TARDIS
It was
team.
just a Wales quarry.
Yeah, it was just them walking across the thing. But like, if they'd done more with that, like the actual space race concept, and they were like even corridors on a spaceship,
Well-
but different spaceships and going between planets. Love that. I like
Yeah.
that idea. But again, very
Yeah,
basic.
it's-
But the thing is,
Yeah.
something else, they've kind of done that. They've done the space race in a Peter Davidson episode.
Oh, the Enlightenment with
Yeah, where it's like the ships that are racing and
I,
stuff. So
I
they
say
have
this.
done it.
This
you
is
know.
something that people should learn about me. I don't like racing off, and if it's not the Cannonball Run, you know the film Cannonball Run
I do
with
not.
Burt Reynolds.
Oh right, yeah.
It's a
yeah.
terrible film, but like it's coloured my view of racing. Because like I watch F1 and I'm like, this isn't Cannonball Run. This should be Cannonball. Because Cannonball Run's like going across America and it's like wacky
Yeah.
hijinks. That's what I want a race to be.
Wacky races.
Exactly. It should be
Yes.
wacky races.
That's a great show.
And I wanted that like space race one to be that, but it was just people walking and talking. This episode again had a criminal problem of too many characters. Like at one point, I think I talked about this at the start of the podcast, but I was just screaming at the screen, "Stop introducing characters!"
Yeah.
Because they had
the
Donald Trump.
mom, the
Yeah,
dad
the-
and the sister who did nothing.
They did nothing but that.
Like it was good to see them and they seemed cool, but like
I
I kind
excuse
of like
that.
the interaction. Like the sister clearly fancied Ryan.
they were-
yeah,
Bang
that's
Ryan.
fine.
Yeah, that's okay, I guess.
That's a thing for a sister to do. She was on her phone all the time because she's a
we
millennial.
established are Yaz and Brian going to be a thing? Is that
Well,
just
people
something
keep
that's-
joking about that, so
I guess that's just in the cards now.
They joked about the Doctor and Yaz being an item,
Yeah.
which I
Yeah.
thought was a wee bit weird. Like it was a fun joke, but like
It
the
was
Doctor's like
kind of-
2000.
Yeah, 2000.
I wasn't saying that with Rose, I guess, so maybe double standards.
Well, there was always to be honest, there was that line at the end where it's like you're going to need to explain. Actually, I think I know where they might be going with Yaz.
I think I've got an idea.
I
So
think
Yaz
I know.
is-
I think I know where they're going with
Can we
Yaz.
both-
And
Can we compare it? Because I've got
well,
an idea.
I think
I
she
don't
might
know.
be- I think she might be gay and she's trying to
yeah.
run away from her parents.
Yeah, I'm with you on this one.
Her dad seems lovely, though.
No.
Yeah.
It just came to me there. She
Her
she
dad was
seemed fine.
lovely.
She seemed absolutely fine.
Yeah.
And then they had that line about you need to explain why you're with the doctor, and then all of a sudden she wants to go. This is actually a good character bit because her explanation for wanting to go seemed like a week like I want to explore the world. Like
Explore the world, eh? Yeah, that's
Like,
subtext.
so- I mean.
I didn't get any of that, I have to say.
I didn't get any of that there. I just kind of twigged there when you mentioned the.
What did I mention? I don't even know what I was talking about for the last
So you
5
think
minutes.
that her
Shipping the
mum
doctor
suspects?
and Yaz.
Oh, right,
that
right.
You think
I
her
think
mum
the mum
suspects that
suspects
she's
that-
gay?
I don't
and-
know. I don't. I'm just.
It
It's just a
kind of
theory.
makes
It's
sense.
just a
It kind
theory.
of fits. You know, there's kind of cultural aspects to that.
It would be a
There is a
There's
cultural
one-
aspect to that, I guess. I mean, if we say that, not being part of that culture or knowing about it.
Yeah,
we
that's
just assume,
actually
I
true.
guess.
Yeah, that's absolutely
But
true.
I don't know, because like when I watched the episode, her mum seems like a mum, I guess.
Yeah.
So you could have
Yeah,
room
her
for that
dad
plot
seems
there.
like a dad.
But her dad seemed lovely.
Her dad
was
seems
making
lovely.
food and like
yeah,
having like conspiracies about
I'm not
bins.
saying that's
and-
there. I'm just saying that's an explanation for.
I suppose they could go there, I guess. And I suppose that would be something for Yaz to do. I wouldn't want the thing that Yaz does to be defined by like a relationship.
Oh, yeah, just by her being
That'd be
gay,
horrendous. Like,
They've got a gay character.
and she's in love with the Doctor. I suppose if they did a Doctor love plot in the vein of RTD, that would be cool. But like, it wouldn't be because we tried to get away
Like,
with.
people hate that.
We tried to get away from that for so long, but I guess it's not doing the standard male Doctor female companion thing.
They hated it in 1986 with Paul McGann when he kissed his companion. They're gonna hate it now.
Those
Like,
were
they don't
old
like-
men in '96 though.
They
They'd be
were
raised from the
old.
'70s.
That's
Like-
fair. Yeah, they were old men.
We love Paul McGann. You
We
can
do
kiss
love
whoever
Paul
he
McGann.
wants.
Who is now? Do you want to tell him? Does he know about the Holby City thing?
Yes,
Paul
I've not
McGann's
watched
Holby
it yet.
City, what the fuck?
I want to watch Holby City now that he's in it.
I bet, like, see, it's like.
If I could be in Holby City, I'll
The
be
thing
in
is,
Holby
it
City.
probably pays insanely
Would
well
you?
when you're on TV like every week. Like, what's to say no to?
Like, you could be
Yeah,
up on a
alright.
Tuesday recording like 12 big finishes,
It
and then on a
shoots
Wednesday goes and
Tuesday?
shoots Holby City. I don't know if it does. Well, actually, the wiki can tell you exactly because they tell you.
Wait, I don't know. I thought it got cancelled years ago. I didn't think because they
Holby
had
City.
Casualty and Holby City. Why do you need both things that are about the same thing?
Well, you got River City, and there's lots of like different cities.
My mum likes River City. I
Right,
don't understand.
is River
it.
City the one with the wrestler?
The gimmick is
What?
casualties in the A&E department, whereas Holby City is like the war.
I really liked the Royal.
Yeah, I remember the Royal Man.
The medical spin-off of Heartbeat.
Yeah, I like
Had an
that.
actress from Jeopardy in it, actually. Yeah.
Someone was telling me that the Rosa Parks actress from last week was in 42.
All right.
She was one of the space people.
They always appear again, don't they?
Mhm.
There was always good work to have in Doctor Who.
Oh, it's like just turn up, be a guy.
The guy that played the character Stephen Taylor, that was a 6-part serial that he appeared in. He appeared in the last part of that. But before that, the actor himself played a part in the third.
Yeah,
So there's
in
a-
the chase.
Yeah, as a rodeo man or something.
He was like an American.
Yeah.
We
talking-
get our questions.
Yeah, get listener questions. We should probably sum up our feelings to the episode.
Like,
Oh, did
I'm,
we get
I'm gonna
listener
gonna like
questions?
tie it back into like my sort of hopes for the series that we would get like sort of like more for like a goal to work toward. Not really getting that, so I maybe thought where there was a hint of that in the second episode, like the Timeless Child stuff and like.
Yeah, that's going to happen.
Yeah,
that,
will happen,
that's a
yeah.
specific RTD setup.
Yeah.
But,
They named it as a thing.
and also the race. To
The Tim Shawries. So far, it's the Tim.
Well, there hasn't been anything like that from the past couple of episodes, unless I missed anything.
The president will be a thing.
The president.
He literally said, "I'm going to be a threat"
Yeah.
in another episode,
Yeah.
and then left.
So, we've got questions?
Yes, I when I realised we were doing this today, I asked everyone I know. I told them we're doing this, and
Alright.
hello everyone. I told everyone we're doing this, and I asked everyone, "Do you have any listener questions?" David Houghton, I'm going to out you. If you asked a question that I cannot repeat, so we're not going to do it.
What was it?
I'm not going to tell you. I'll tell you afterwards because it was horrible.
Was it horrible in the sense of Doctor Who, or was it just horrible generally?
It was a horrible Doctor Who joke.
Because Houghton can come out with some pretty crazy stuff.
He's
Has
a
Houghton been
wor-
on this.
No, not been on it.
Hasn't it?
I've been trying to get him on, but he's still working
I could go
Right,
head to head.
so-
I don't know what about, but it
Hmm.
could be interesting.
head to head.
Yeah.
What is cool? We got a beep.
Yeah, that's good.
What is questions? I'm just gonna keep talking so there's no silence in the
Because
episode.
otherwise, dead air.
Our 0 listeners will.
Seriously. I mean, by the way, I didn't tell you, I went out and bought 5 DVDs of Doctor Who today. I didn't
Yes,
tell
you were
this,
telling me. You
actually.
can tell me that now.
So it was a few, so we can talk about that now.
Yeah, talk about it.
Got Keys of Marinus, we got the 10th Planet, which is very sad.
Oh, I've been trying to get the 10th planet. Is it?
It's sad, it's very sad. It's not sad because of what happens in 10th Planet, which
Is it-
we both know about. But,
Is it sad because the middle episode doesn't have like Hartnell in it because he's sick?
Basically, yeah, and he's not really in any of the episodes
Yeah.
at all. Like, he's literally in about 15 minutes of footage.
Right,
like, if
so
that, it's pretty bad.
This one kind of ties in, like,
Okay.
Listener
Shanks
questions.
from Edinburgh says, "Hi mate, what's your opinion of Jodie and what's your major issue you have with the writing?" Like, I want to like Jodie because I think she's a great actress. Like,
Yeah.
she's had some like good scenes. There's not been like a spark. Like, I like her sort of like, I like her like she's like.
It's very difficult because basically, when we say like we don't want to say anything bad because it doesn't want to come off that we hate women. Because like she's the first female doc, and all I can really say about her is that like when I think about her, it's the 13th, isn't it? I get
Yes,
confused
13th.
because of the War Doctor. The 13th
Ignore
Doctor.
it.
When I think about the 13th Doctor, I just kind of think of a confused look. She's
A
always
little
just very
bit.
confused about things.
Yeah.
Which I know things are happening all the time, But like, it's not kind of like when I think about Tennant, I kind of think about he's Gurnon, and when I think
Yeah.
about like Matt Smith, I think about he's kind of like I'm the Doctor, and then I'm the Doctor plays, and then Capaldi's like a mean bastard. So like,
I think of crazy eyes on your face and basically
no sir,
walking from a
all
boss.
13.
Yeah, that was badass.
Best Capaldi moment. I
That
said
was
this
great.
last week.
It
but, like,
wasn't even a show at that
no,
point.
but I don't know. I suppose we're getting there. We're 4 episodes in.
Yeah.
I really, really, really like that she has a bum bag.
Wow, yeah, you're right.
She might even keep her Sonic in it.
That's efficient.
That's great. But
Smart.
that's the main thing I like about her. I like her coat. I hate that she ripped it last week.
I see what you're saying about the spark though. She
I like
hasn't
her
had any
interaction with
standout
her
moments.
companion, sort of. She's like a bit cringy and like an endearing
She's
sort
a
of
bit
way.
cringy and yeah.
But like that's really got yeah.
I don't mind the fam. You
Yeah.
both
I hate the
visibly
fam.
cringed when she said
I
fam
hate
this
fam.
week.
I hate that part.
I cringe, but I'm also fine with it because it would be the kind of thing that Doctor would try and say.
Yeah.
She's very David Tennant-y.
By the way, there was that line about how like she was like the Doctor. I've never had a flat before, but like
Yeah.
Matt Smith.
She-
Like he was a lodger, admittedly,
And
but
David
he
Tennant
had a flat.
Had a flat.
Amber was talking to me about this when that happened. She's like, I've never had a flat, I've never had a sofa, I could have a sofa. Like, presumably have multiple sofas
Yeah.
in the TARDIS. That Matt Smith's sofa had like a seat sofa thing
Yeah,
from
yeah.
like it was such a weird out of place. Like, have you not seen Doctor Who before? Do you not know about the pool room?
And Pertwee
Like,
lived on Earth for like 4 years.
Yeah.
He must have lived somewhere.
he lived in those laboratories in Bexley.
All those labs,
Pubs.
man. Those different labs. Different lab every episode. Bizarrely.
I love Pertwee stuff.
I know. I was watching some Pertwee yesterday and it's just like, man.
I was reading the novelization of the Daemons, and it's the best, most coziest thing in the world.
Right, so James from Dundee asks, "What's your favourite episode of New Who?"
Favorite.
This is
That's
really
a
hard.
big one.
It's really
Do you wanna
hard.
take that one?
Like,
We can each just say I tried to think about this and then I didn't. So I'm going to think about it while I'm talking. I want to say, I'm going to out him and say that James's favourite episode, he told me earlier, I'm going to steal this one from both of you. He says his favourite episode is Midnight.
that's a good choice.
Midnight's great.
Can you quickly remind me of Midnight?
Midnight's the one with the bus, and they're on a planet, and like the 10th Doctor, and he leaves Donna at a spa, and then he goes on a bus with Merlin.
Oh yeah, that
And then-
really kind of like claustrophobic one.
Claustrophobic,
And it's
it's-
like there's a monster outside.
There's a
and
thing
it's-
outside and it gets in.
Yeah.
And it's just Tennant in a bus with the actor that plays Merlin, Patrick Troughton's son, and like a classic Doctor Who mum. Mums don't come off well in Doctor Who at
No,
all.
they don't.
Mums are the worst humans that have ever lived,
Yeah.
I'm
which
not
is
gonna do
unfortunate.
one. I really like Blink. I really.
Everybody likes Blink.
Yeah, Gridlock.
Gridlock is good. Gridlock's great.
Yeah.
Gridlock's fantastic.
Yeah, I really like Midnight. I really like the Angels two-parter that Matt Smith has.
Oh, that's quite epic and
Yeah.
cinematic, isn't it? That was one of the.
Properly epic, that one.
That was
Like,
probably-
that's like I think that's maybe the best like two-parter they've ever done.
Ooh, that's a like Impossible Planet, Satan Pit.
Yeah, oh yeah, those are also really
those are
good.
great.
Like
There's one.
The 11th Hour is like my favourite First Doctor episode, along with like, and New Who anyways. Yeah, it's, like the 11th Hour is up there with Spearhead.
Spearhead in 11th
Talk about
Hour. Yeah,
Spearhead,
Spearhead is
but
great.
I fucking love Spearhead.
There's one that comes to mind right off the top of my head, and it's the one. It was a Peter Capaldi one.
Mhm.
It was about 2
Oh, Heaven
seasons
Sent
ago.
also, Heaven Sent.
Heaven Sent.
Yeah.
Is that the one you're
No,
thinking
it was
of?
not Heaven Sent.
Oh,
It was basically. I can't even remember the name of it. But basically,
That's a problem
it starts-
with-
Yeah, no, I know that is a problem. But then again, I remember read the title.
once you get into Matt Smith once you get into Matt
yeah, you
Smith's
just
second
stop reading
season,
it
I
because it just
cannot tell you the
becomes, like,
names.
adjectives.
I could list them off like the alphabet.
But there was
I
one.
can't.
It's basically it's got this invisible enemy in it, and they never show what this enemy is.
Is that Listen?
Yes, it is.
Oh,
there it is. It's
Listen's very
Listen.
divisive.
Listen's pretty good in my mind because it's like scary.
Listen's the one that like said the Doctor grew up in a barn on Gallifrey.
That was a bit crap.
And, like,
the whole
That he was
kind of
afraid of like an arm grabbing him under his bed, and then it turned out the arm was Clara because of Timey
bit.
Wimey.
Yeah. Like anything to do with Clara, anything
Yeah.
to do with Gallifrey, or
Just
Doctor
cordon
Who,
off the
just-
Clara
just-
from the
just
episode.
leave that shit alone. Just don't mess with it because it gives clues as to who the Doctor.
I
might
remember like I hated the Clara bit, but like I liked the episode when I remember seeing it. Like it was him just being like, "What is scariness for an episode?
Yeah, that's
what
kinda
is
works.
fear?" And he like does a lot of chalkboard stuff.
Fear is a superpower and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I kind of like that. It made
That-
sense to a degree.
Anytime Capaldi does a speech is
Yeah.
like a time to be alive.
It is good because here's the thing about Peter Capaldi. In theory, it should have been the best series of Doctor Who we ever saw.
Mhm.
obviously it was one of the worst things that ever happened.
No,
to
no,
Doctor
I
Who.
don't think
No,
so. Like,
no, come on. How could it not be?
I-
Like, we had that 4-part fucking, like, was it 4-part, 3-part, where the
monks.
pyramids and stuff, and
Aye.
was that the one with the monks and the blindness
yeah,
and
he's
shit?
blind. I like that he was blind. That was the Doctor. That was him. That was Moffat making the Doctor a bit fallible for a couple of episodes, but still being
The
like
look
God
worked.
mode.
The look kind of worked when he was blind.
He just had his sonic specs on after it, and it was fine.
Yeah.
It was like he didn't have to be blind.
Yeah.
And I'm fine with that because, like, at a certain point, you give the Doctor a problem, and it's like, why don't you time travel to a bit in time where you can get like a device to deal with the problem?
Oh, yeah.
Like, blindness shouldn't really be a
Robot
trouble.
eyes.
Yeah.
It's like you're a time
Regenerate your
lord. Can you not
eyes.
just like see like the Matrix code that is time? Like,
Yeah.
Should we move on to?
no, I've not said what my favourite episode is
yeah,
yet.
yeah, sorry.
I've not actually thought about it. I quite like Smith and Jones. The
Utter shite, man. Come on.
we're not talking about good episodes. We're talking about episodes that I quite like.
I haven't thought about that episode. Like,
In
like,
terms of
decade.
episodes.
Is that the one with the Jadoon?
That's the first one with the Jadunai. Jadun from Tune upon the Moon. I don't think it's a great episode at all, but like in terms of times I've seen it the most, like I quite like Smith and Jones.
Fair play.
I quite like everything in like see the two-parter at the end of Eccleston.
Bad
Oh,
Wolf
yeah,
and
yeah,
Bad Wolf,
yeah,
Parting of
Part of the ways. I always want to call it
episodes.
Journey's End. Stolen Earth as well.
Still on Earth's very good.
I'll defend that every time it comes up because it's one
Turn
of those.
left. Like,
Turn Left
Left's
is a
not
banger. Like, but Stolen Earth I can watch over and over because it's like just an all like action things are happening episode. Daleks invade. They
Yeah.
kill Skybase at one point. Like,
Yeah.
there's like, oh, the Valiant is down. Like, it kind of happens off screen, but I'm like, oh, the Valiant's down. Like, and then it doesn't go anywhere. It's one of those like famous like great setup. The
Yeah.
Daleks are stealing Earth, and they kind of try it back into the Dalek invasion of Earth, where like that's why the Daleks were trying to mine the core in that thing, so they could pilot Earth to be like the part of a reality bomb, because like I don't even know. Like at that point,
See, I know I hated Peter Capaldi's last series. But I
really,
liked
because
Bill.
you said that. Like,
I
I
liked
really liked
Bill.
it.
I liked Bill.
That season was
Like-
1,000% more watchable because of Bill. Like, I
Yeah,
hate Clara.
definitely. Bill
And-
was great.
Bill's like Bill, like the Cyberman episode with Bill, The World Enough in Time.
That's one of what I was going to say, because they brought back the Mondasian Cybermen with the cloth, and the
The
cloth,
cloth.
thing really works more.
See, with the basic form of the Cyberman, where it was just like a hospital patient with like the
Yeah.
bag thing, and like they've got like a energy drip.
That's fucking terrifying.
Yeah.
Like, in its way.
Oh, that was absolutely shocking. And like they shot Bill because she had like a crater that you could see through in her chest.
Although that is the same episode where they do the whole, oh, his name's actually Doctor Who and shit like that. And
Aye,
it's
I don't like when they do
really,
that.
Really bad.
I've been thinking about Dr. Disco a lot. Because that's what Capaldi would call himself in those later episodes. He's like, oh, I'm Dr. Disco. And he says it once, like, earnestly, and he like makes jokes about it later, but, like, I like Capaldi's midlife crisis. I like it. Like, it's fine. It's a thing to do. I'm trying to think of...
the guitar and all that.
I like the guitar, but
I
only, like...
hated Missy. I absolutely
Really?
hated
I
Missy.
like Missy. Missy's
I think
fine.
Missy's cool.
I despise her.
I think that she was... Someone was making the point that she's basically just, like, River Song, and that Moffat can only write over-sexualized women, and I think that's
Yeah.
entirely true.
That's kind of it.
And I'd love to
basically.
see someone else write Missy. Like, I think she was a good master Missy. I'm a big sucker for whenever the villain wants to get on the team. So whenever
Yeah.
Missy's like, no, I'm your pal. I'm your oldest pal. Like, I've given you a birthday present, and or like, I'm turning good now, and we'll cut a boot, and we'll just be pals again. Like, it's fine. I know I've been the master. Like, I know I've been Roger Diagolo.
I was trying to pronounce it as well.
I
yesterday.
can't.
couldn't do
I
it.
can do it, but now that I'm talking at a pace, I can't.
I was Eric Roberts. That
I know
time.
it was Eric Roberts. I tried to. I was like a CGI snake, and I tried to like eat the heart of the TARDIS. Or
Every
something.
time I remember the fact that Eric Roberts was the master.
Yeah.
Eric
It
Roberts
makes me happy.
is the master.
Brother of Julie.
Michael and Aberdeen.
What does Michael and Aberdeen write?
I guess my question would be, what do you think is the most important element of a Who story? What episode do you think it worked best in, and what seasons did it work best in? Well, to describe. So, to me, like the most important element of a Who story to me is like you need like really good world building.
Mm-hmm.
Like you need like a world that sort of like makes sense. Like they introduce the world well. Like, you need like a good villain or monsters.
Aye, I think for me it's a good like plot, but not necessarily the plot of like things happening, but like a good kind of
Like,
this is what this week's episode is.
Yeah.
Like we're on. I was going to say we were on this Titanic in space, but that's not really a good example. But like,
Yeah.
you know, like this thing is
God
happening.
damn it.
It is this thing.
I guess like a good example is like the Beast Below. Like they introduced like their world.
Mhm.
Like
You really like the Beast Below, don't
Yeah.
you?
What you kind of got to remember about Doctor Who is within the story of Doctor Who, there's like 5 different sub-story types. There's like historical types, there's space types,
Aye.
kind of like
Base under
siege type.
siege.
Yeah, that kind of thing. And like, so it's kind of like, what's the favorite kind of elements of that a wee bit? I think for me, it's got to be the scary factor. I don't know why. I know like that's a classic thing for people to say.
I've never been scared of Doctor Who. Like it's even when I was a babby. Like I just think it was fun. It's like, oh, there's a fun monster guy.
There were times when I was scared, like the Zygon scared me originally.
Really?
And Planet of Evil scared the shit out of me, even though it is just a man in a wig. Which I never recognise because that is the effectiveness of Doctor Who. Like it can make things that will literally cost you about 55 pence to make scary. It kind of worked.
Is Planet of Evil? Is that the one that's just?
It's set in a jungle that looks really nice. Do you remember?
Is that the one with Leela, the first one?
No,
Or
it's a Sarah Jane Smith one.
is that the one that's just Forbidden Planet, where there's like a scientific explanation and then the expedition, and then there's like an antimatter monster?
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah,
Antimatter
that one.
monsters, yeah.
Have you seen Forbidden Planet? Because it is just Forbidden Planet. It's great. The film that those shops are named after.
Yeah, I know. I actually went to see a stage production of it.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh wow.
My friend did one.
Was it good?
She was very good in it. I very much enjoyed it. It was very good. Yes.
Yes, it
If
was.
she's watching
if
it,
she's watching
it
now,
will be. It was very good, Kat.
it was
Thank you.
well produced.
It was very good. You were very good in it. I was a bit drunk.
Also, another important aspect of good Doctor Who episodes is like character of the week episodes that are actually good.
Aye. Like, for me, it'd probably be like a memorable monster design, and I'm a humanist, I guess. Meaning that like I like things that are human shaped.
Yeah.
See when I see a monster that doesn't have this goes back to Pokemon, where like see if a Pokemon has limbs and then loses them, I get very angry. And I'm thinking about it. This affects my love of Doctor Who. See when a monster's like clearly a guy in a suit,
Yeah.
I'm like yes.
Yeah, that works.
Because like in the first episode of this season, Tim Shaw, see when he was kind of about when his mask on, and he was clearly like a man in a rubber suit. Like I didn't think they were going to go for that this season, but when he was walking about on screen, I was like, oh my god, they're just going for it.
It really worked as well because originally that design was Power Rangers as fuck.
Ah, it was, wasn't it?
Really
Yeah.
fucking cool as well.
Kamen Rider, Power Ranger, like again,
Dude.
I was loving that until I took his mask off and he had
Yeah.
like teeth face that needed a wee wash.
It was like when I saw that, I was like, yeah, you guys have a budget now.
They
You
had like a
actually
vape
have-
machine.
Someone's giving you money.
Or at least they were like putting more effort into designing monsters.
Yeah.
So that's maybe, I know you laughed at me, but that's maybe why I like the Jadoon.
Yeah,
like,
right, that's
and I like
fair.
Russell's like love of aliens that are just like things with animal heads. Like the cat people, the cactus people, and like the rhino people. And
Rhino people, cat people. Pretty sure there were dog people at one point.
was there dog people?
Oh, the cheetah people, of course, of Survival.
Yes, the cheetah
Although
people
that
are
was on
great.
TV, but who can
I
forget the
love
cheetah people?
Survival.
Survival is
Such
something
a
we could
good
talk about
shit.
forever. So like a very like a good designed monster that's like memorable and is like kind of like environmental storytelling in a way that like
Yeah.
you could only get that monster in that episode and like that monster
Yeah.
like fits into
Yeah,
that
that's
world and isn't like an extension of it. So I think all the like Gridlock's a good one for that because like he jumps between all the cars and it's all these mad societies.
Yeah, like that has great world building. Great
Yeah.
world building in that episode.
And like that one has Dougal as a cat
Yeah,
person.
yeah,
Like, it's
man.
great. Like I think Russell was really good for that because he doesn't get enough credit for. Because like when you get into Moffat stuff, there's a lot of cool stuff like the Wee from Angels, but then it's quite bland sci-fi and bits and bobs and not as good.
Some of it as well
Cartoonish.
is just like how you dealt with the companions. Moffat was always just.
I want the companion, and this is another part that I think makes really good too, to be a lad.
Yeah.
Like, because I like Donna a lot, because Donna's a lad. Like,
I did not like Donna,
Did-
but
did-
I have reasons for not liking
pardon
Donna.
me. Did you like Donna in like season 4 though? Like,
I liked her. There were parts of her I did like though. I did like the fact she never fell in love with the Doctor.
Yeah.
She was a bit more normal. But
She was a
then
temp.
They kept on making her character a bit more Messiah-esque. You know, like they keep on trying to make her integral to things. Like just have
they
this man-
made her the Doctor for an episode.
Yeah, that was kind of not what the kind of fucking thing I wanted to see.
That's
until I
probably the
said,
opposite
"Bye."
of what you should have done with Donna's character. But I
Yeah.
think they really make that work because like Donna just continually has sad endings. Like they got all of she was made specifically a better person in her adventures. And then she had that taken away from her. And
Yeah.
usually you would hate that. You would hate that like they took away her character development, but it was made a point that like she literally got better as a person because of her adventures. And we're taking this away to hurt you, the viewer. So like that was the one good use of like explosive amnesia.
Oh yeah, I always just thought that was like really rough. Like I'd love to hear like RTD explain why he felt the need to do that.
Because he was like, we've just had a fun episode where we've like thrown Davros about and flipped switches and destroyed the Dalek Empire again.
Yeah.
We're going to have some emotional. Like, is that does Wilf salute the Doctor there?
That's
That's the
time.
very
That's
last-
Because,
after.
but
When
yeah,
And Donna is also in that episode and she can't remember.
Donna can't remember, and she gets married,
Yeah.
and that's like her happy ending. And she doesn't ever remember, does she?
No.
because it
No.
would explode her
Yeah,
brain if she didn't.
but like that Wilf salute happens.
Yeah, well, that's
which-
why Wolf does it.
yeah, and like that's
sad.
I would say bordering on bad.
Wolf remembers everything.
Yeah.
Donna can't.
Donna can't, because if she does, she'll remember that she's the Doctor, Donna, and she'll
Yeah.
die, she'll explode. But yeah, I need characters, because like,
What degree does that work to? If she walks past one of those coffee shops or is
Or
actually
a
shaped
police
like a
box.
TARDIS, yeah,
Yeah.
exactly, then she's fucking dead, right?
maybe she never will, and that's the sad thing, because she'll just live her
One
like
of those
boring
coffee
life.
shops, yeah.
I want good monster design. I need the companion to be like a lad, and like Amy Pond is like that sometimes, but then I think Amy's not that great a guy a lot of the time.
Yeah.
I know that's an extremist view, but
That's not an extreme.
Clara wasn't
I like
nice.
Amy and Rory.
Amy and Rory is a great. Like I love it when they're a team and
Yeah.
they're a couple. That time they broke up was really weird. I'll have that said on the podcast. That was a really weird time.
They broke up. I don't
They
remember
broke
that.
up
for
in
one episode.
Asylum of the Daleks. They broke up. And I can't remember what the reasoning was, but they broke up.
I seem to. Were they?
Oh, it's just like
were
an
they-
argument that they have.
Oh right, okay, they have an argument. Okay, that's
It's a weird thing to happen at that point in the series.
especially in the asylum of the Daleks, presumably. Or was Rory in the asylum at this point? Or
No, this was before the episode. This was when it was just starting. I have
Oh,
a
This is the start of the series. For
I have a side tangent here that
on.
someone was talking about fan theory that made me like Angels in Manhattan more like to some degree.
Okay.
Because you know how at the end of that episode, Rory and Amy get trapped in the past, and there's
Yeah.
like so much time shenanigans that the Doctor can never go back and visit them, and it's like one of the worst leaving a companion kind of things. Because like, why doesn't the Doctor just go back?
to like Scotland.
Yeah,
and
like,
travel over to New
Just,
York
like
to
take a
pick them up.
car, like even
Yeah.
that. This wasn't really addressed that necessarily, but there's a fun bit where the fan theory was saying that that's what the Doctor had been doing in that series. That the Doctor's visits, because the Doctor drops them off at the end of episodes, so that it doesn't happen chronologically. Because there's an episode where the Rory says he left his phone in the past, but that doesn't happen until the episode after he says that. So the Doctor has been. The series says that he's been visiting them in those episodes because he misses them, because he says that to Amy at one point. So he just does go back and have like fun with them at different points, because he dropped them off so he can go pick them up whenever and have as many adventures as he wants with them, which
Surely
alleviates.
they would know that. Though.
No, because it's happening in chronological order for them, because he'll always like pick them up to take them on that angel adventure at some point.
Yeah.
So he can go back before that at any point. And if he goes in chronological order to them, like he can go whenever he wants. When he's Matt Smith, I guess.
Yeah.
But like to them, it'll always seem like he's turning up later in their life,
Yeah, I guess. Yeah.
which I thought was a fun thing I didn't notice. I don't think that was Moffat's intent, and I
No.
don't think we should ever like leave the pressure off him for that.
Where are we on our
Questions.
more
What do you think
That's-
makes a good Who?
Yeah, that's
What I think makes a good Who.
We can
Yeah.
finish up after this.
I mean, I think I don't know. There's so many aspects of Doctor Who that it's kind of hard to tell because,
Aye.
like, I was thinking about how many different subgenre of Doctor Who you get alone. You get like the pure historicals. You've got
Can't
something-
deal with them.
Can't deal with it.
No,
I'm not actually a fan
I've
of them. I
discussed
can't.
this,
Unless it's the Aztecs,
I like
and it's
those
like
though.
4 in the morning and we're on Twitch.
I know I say this every week, but like I'm fighting with like 20th century Doctor Who episodes, but anything before that, I'm just
Yeah.
like, nope. Unless
Anytime-
it's got like a modern twist to it, like the Pandorica opens, that was totally fine.
Mhm. Well, that was Roman times. That wasn't
Yeah.
necessarily, oh blimey,
I
it's
know,
past
it had, like,
England.
other
And also,
aliens in it,
it's got to have like a
Aye,
sci-fi element.
specifically, it's when like if you want to get me to just not want to watch an episode, it's when the TARDIS goes like, we're in London, 1726.
It's like I was
Merry
saying,
old
there's like
England.
there are like episodes of Doctor Who I like from the past that every other fan
There's a
considers me total
bad.
trash.
I am the
Mm.
bad.
Like all the time, and it's like
Welcome.
bullshit.
I just can't deal with it.
What
It's
episodes do you like that you're
It's
told they're
like
trash?
Time in the Rani and shit like that. Like people.
I watched
hate
Time with the Rani when
Rani.
it was on Twitch.
I know it's great.
I was
man.
asking, like I was watching it, I had no idea what was happening, and like that doesn't happen a lot, but I just couldn't follow along. I was talking to the ex-editor of Doctor Who magazine on Twitter, and I was like, do you know what happens in Time with the Rani? Because I don't know what's happening, what's this meteor? Like,
What is this lava stuff they're making and
what's
shit like that?
this
Yeah.
terrible, like,
It just looks
After
good.
Effects?
I don't know what it is. Maybe it's the colours. It just really. I was 6 when I first saw it. It fucking really affected me. Very
Have you
well.
seen? Because I was watching it on Twitch and like, watching Who in Order. It's great.
Yeah.
Because that happened, and then Paradise Towers is immediately after.
Yeah.
That. Have you seen Paradise Towers?
I've seen about half of Paradise
I
Towers.
love Paradise Towers.
It's pretty damn good.
It's
I
like Judge
enjoy it.
Dredd, but like tea time, like 1989 British. That was so good.
And then does it not go like that? Then Delta and the Bannermen, which is set
Oh,
like Cornwall
aye.
or something.
It's
And then it's
that.
like Dragonfire, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I really like Paradise Towers though. People get on it though. But it's great. It's got like gangs that are like color coded, and then like the Doctor like ingratiates himself by like showing them how to work the bendies. Like he works he like puts a coin in and gets like a can out and gives it to them, and he's like,
Well,
they're like, you make the machine, the great machine work.
This is something else we've got to ask that question. What makes a great Doctor is, well, it's got to be dependent on the Doctor. Like, if you've got like
Aye.
a Sylvester McCoy episode, typically the Doctor is going to be menacing people, being a bit dark, being very
Depends
devious.
which season of McCoy you're watching now, because like I say, Paradise Towers and stuff, he's all pretty funny and whimsical. And
See, and like stuff like The Greatest Show in the Galaxy and
Aye.
Ghostlight and stuff like that, that's when it's like, dude,
That's when he's like,
Ghostlight is one of my favourite episodes, and no one understands what the fuck is going on in Ghostlight.
there's like a caveman, and there's like
Yeah.
a space god man.
He's like a space
disco
god,
thing.
but he's also cargo.
Adam Strange, I want to say, like.
No, he's also like a god, and he can move at the speed of thought, and none of it makes any sense. But for some reason, it's just gripping.
I like Fenric
really
more
good.
than I like Ghostlight.
Right, what?
I like Curse of Fenric more than I like Ghostlight.
You know, I've never watched Curse of Fenric
You've
all the way
never
through.
watched Curse of Fenric?
And I've been
Oh
hoping
my
to buy it on
God.
DVD as well. That's something else that's going to be
Fenric's a good
picked up
time.
soon. I've watched like a wee bit of it and I was okay with it, but it also really reminded me of Horror Fang Rock, which I didn't like originally. But I went back again and watched
The
it.
next
That was
episode of McGann's audio adventures that I have to watch is called Horror
Horror
of Glam Rock.
isn't it?
And
Yeah.
it's got Bernard Cribbins in it.
Yeah, man.
As like a
Wait.
70s tour manager.
Nice. Here we go. So it's actually like glam rock. Then.
Yeah, it's 70s.
Oh,
It's set at a
baby,
motorway
man.
service station. I am incredibly hyped.
I'm well in for this now.
We were talking about this last week, I think, or we may have just been talking about this, but if Doctor Who, if each episode was like set at a different service station in a different time period, that would be like our perfect season of Who.
Actually, can I just, one thing that I absolutely hated about the Peter Capaldi run was the very last episode with Jenna Louise Coleman and when Clara went away in the fucking diner.
Yes, that diner that
Arya
flew away.
Stark, and I was
Could
just
not
like, you
really believe
bastards.
what I was seeing when that was happening, but
Oh god, I was just like, please, like
that
that
Clara's
never
like
appear
the kind
again
of
in
worst
any
case
fiction.
example because she's like a normal person, but she's kind of built up. You know how like we were talking about how the companions become gods or whatever.
Yeah.
She like gets her own TARDIS and free reign in space and time, and it's like
But then you're praying that they'd never get a spin-off or anything happens with them.
I can see Big Finish getting into work with
I
Clara.
know, but I
if
don't
Clara
think
ever
he
needs the
will,
money.
because I don't think anyone will pay for it. Because some of it, like obviously, Big Finish has like 85 million fucking Doctor Who related
They've got a
things.
Churchill series on the go.
I know.
Like, they've
What
got-
the hell.
the-
Iris Wild Time, which how did that even
You
work?
gotta give Joe Grant's actress something to do other than be Joe Grant. Like,
Yeah, that's fair.
she's around the studio most days.
You know Nicola Bryan who played Perry.
Yeah.
She gets work out of that from like literally every line, pretty much. Like you look through them all, and it's Nicola Bryan, Nicola
Mhm.
Bryan, Nicola Bryan. It's like wow, how the fuck is that happening?
Well, they wanted to fix the Sixth Doctor and I guess his companions as well, so they...
yeah, they actually did his regeneration episode, and
Yeah, they redid it, didn't they?
Yeah.
That's fun.
Uh,
Apparently, Adric is alive in Big Finish, which I feel like takes away from that moment. Like, I'm not an Adric hater. Like, I didn't.
He's fine-ish. You know?
Like, he's like a Mooney companion, but a lot of classic
They are.
Who mode,
They were.
like a lot of them don't get that they're in like a mad space. Like,
I read something interesting today that the optimism for Peter Davidson's Doctor, who isn't really all that optimistic if you actually watch the episodes, is contrasted by the pessimism of Tegan and the arrogance of Adric and the antagonism of
Nissa.
Turlo.
Turlo.
No, Nissa's like totally blameless.
Nissa's a cool guy.
Nissa's
Nissa.
easily the most useful one as well
Nissa
that he's
turns up.
ever had.
And it's like, I'm here to do science, and I won't be affected that my dad was murdered and his body taken over by the Master.
Yeah.
And now I have to look at my dad's dead corpse every time we see the Master, which is a lot of
And
times.
basically fight him every single
Yeah.
time, and he doesn't know who I am, despite the fact that
Yeah,
this man is.
Nissa's fine with that. She's like, oh,
She's totally fine with that.
we're going to Concord this week. This is great. Oh, yes.
I'm dressed as Victorian, but I'm also a fucking genius.
I'm from space. The half of the universe that my planet was in was destroyed. So, I mean, not going to deal with that.
You know, I'm from tracking. That's got a keeper who has vague powers.
It's been a while since I've watched. Even like I watched bits of it when Twitch was happening, but I couldn't.
Keeper Tracking's a great episode.
I remember watching it on Gold, UK Gold back in the day. I watched all of Baker's in vague order on VHS because I taped it every Sunday.
Oh man, like peak Baker for me is definitely got to be around about that era because that's like when you had like the E-Space trilogy and
I like
stuff
E-Space.
like that, and the vampires, and you had those big lion head guys and shit. And
Is E-Space? I keep thinking about E-Space. Does it have the swamp monsters in it?
Yeah, that's the Marshmen.
Yeah,
the
Marshmen
are in that one.
I was always excited by that because I was like, yes, they're finally doing the creature from the swamp because they've done like mummies and like Frankenstein's and like.
I just thought they'd be recurring. For some reason, they weren't, and it was like they really worked as well. I think I always got them confused with the Solarians a wee bit.
The Silurians, the Sea Devil,
and the
the Lizardy Men. I like them. They should.
Like
should do more with them. I know there was a
Devils.
Silurian character for all of Capaldi's run.
Yeah.
A bit of Matt
If
Smith.
they wanted to do that, they should have got Gatis.
They should have got Gaius.
There would have been a lot more monsters. There would have been a lot more unit, and there would have been a lot more monsters.
Yeah.
We're getting now.
Maybe we'll get that eventually. Like
We do
Gaius can
need to
be
do that.
70 and still write that same series. Like
I'm still always going to be mad about the Nicholas Courtney thing.
Nicholas Courtney, the Brigadier.
Well, you know, me and David have a big thing about this. See, when the year he died, the same year as Elizabeth Sladen dying, right?
Yeah.
But remember, they did that whole thing in the BAFTAs where they showed like every actor that died. They missed Nicholas Courtney.
Well, I feel like Moffat.
Fucking asshole.
That's maybe why Moffat kept bringing the Brigadier back.
Yeah.
Do you remember in like the Cyberman thing?
Where he was the Cyberman
Where he was a
leader or
Cyberman?
something, yeah.
That was so weird and like great and like the whole plot there where like they cybernized the dead and everyone that died, I guess vaguely recently, maybe for decades, I don't know.
It's like Black Lanterns, basically.
Yeah, the Black Lanterns, they put everybody who died memories into a memory disk, like a hard disk, and then they download that into, I don't know, at what point, why are you doing this? Like, like why do you need to save people's memories if you're just going to put them into Cyberman? Like,
Accumulated knowledge, possibly?
possibly? Like, but like, that was a weird bit, that scene, but they put the dead's memories into Cyberman bodies because they were cyberizing the dead. It's not really, I think it was like nanomachines at that point, so whenever you say nanomachines, it's like, alright, you don't have to explain it. You've got nanomachines.
Doctor Who, can I say, Doctor Who, I'm reading some like opinions about this episode, and Doctor Who opinions are so cyclical. Like, it's always like, oh, I think I'm actually missing the more complex plot. You just can't
You
win.
cannot win, like, fair play to them.
No, this is it. There is no official golden age of Doctor Who.
No.
It's just variation.
It's whenever you've liked Doctor Who.
It's all good. It's just there's no bad moments.
It's whenever you have nostalgia in your life.
I
where
quite like bloody.
There's good Doctor Who and there's bad Doctor Who, like all the way through Doctor Who, and that's the way it'll always be.
What is it? Fear Her and what's the one next to it? I keep forgetting.
Love and Monsters.
I quite love Love and Monsters. Like
Fear
I've seen
Fear
Love and
is
Monsters
pretty good.
recently. It's not as bad as everyone says. Like it's
The
bad.
absorbable off and Peter Kay.
It was bad, right? When there was only one season and a bit. See when yours, because like that's all of New Who that you had was like Eccleston season and then half of Tennant's.
Yeah.
We've had so much New Who now that like it's one episode out of 10 years or 10 seasons, 11 seasons now. So like who cares? Like it was a badish episode with really weird insinuations about their love life with that like with Moaning Merkel who is like a paving slab. Like that's probably the wildest that Doctor Who has got.
Do you think we're going to get an episode next week that isn't written by Chibnall?
No, it'll be written by someone else.
Check that surely because that's on
yeah, they'll be
Wikipedia.
kind of secret about like writers and stuff.
I bet it'll be written by a guy, but Chibnall will also have his hand in it to do the myth arc stuff and
Yeah,
because that's what it's been so far.
The thing is, I've done that before, and like the thing is, like other like in Moffat and RTD, who like other writers have written like myth art bits, and it might even have been like the showrunner that wrote those scenes, but they
Credited
weren't
it.
credited.
You know, in the comics at the
Even if
moment,
they did rewrites, like was RTD rewrote like everyone else's.
I don't
Moffat script.
I don't care. Like I know it's a hell of a job, but you like just write all the episodes. Just write. There's 10 episodes.
Yeah.
Write them all. Like
Next week's episode is also written by Chris Chibnall. Right?
Yeah.
It's a lot of Chris Chibnall.
well, like thingy.
Apparently, we need to get to episode 6 before we get a totally non-Chibnall out.
What's this? JMS, John Michael Straczynski, wrote all of season 3 and I might say season 4 of Babylon 5. So that's like 48 episodes of like a 45-minute hour.
That was
I believe it killed him, But he did that in the 90s. So like,
That was
Ooh.
his baby.
The audience appreciation indexes are right. They're like low 80s, which is where Doctor Who's been for like
the
past
I want to
six-
see what the numbers are tomorrow because it's been doing like 8 million
it's been
each
different
time.
ratings,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's been doing good.
Sunday, even though it is the most
You know,
Brexit day of the
I-
week, and we have to stress that
this
every
is-
time, it's quite good for
This is
everyone.
something I saw a lot in these documentaries I'm watching about Doctor Who, is that the viewing figures are always pretty consistent.
Aye.
Like there's
Yeah, they're trailing off a
never
bit.
major
The
drops.
overnights were particularly bad in like, the Moffat year, but the scheduling didn't help like at all.
No.
No.
And
Like
like,
late Capaldi had a problem with overnight ratings, but it's because like we kept changing the time, like
Yeah.
it wasn't on at a
No
consistent time of the
consistency.
year.
deep into Netflix territory,
Yeah.
who
Yeah.
actually watches TV.
I think the Sunday night move has been a good thing
It's-
overall.
It was on after Countryfile. Saw a bit of Countryfile. Some
Nice.
wrestlers were in Countryfile.
Hey.
I was shocked.
Countryfile
Countryfile.
sounds like it's getting wild. again.
Countryfile is wild, and
Yeah.
like there was. I love the Countryfile because in the middle they just show the weather. Like the weather is great.
Is Matt Baker still in Countryfile?
Don't know. I'm not paying that much attention to it. I just saw that there was wrestlers and
If Matt
weather.
Baker's still in it, I'll go back. But
Matt
if he's not,
Baker.
then fuck it. I don't
Matt
care.
Baker's a name that I only recognise from Alan Partridge's books.
Matt Baker's the guy who he was in like Blue Peter, and then he evolved to proper
Oh,
BBC.
is he the kind of
And
posh?
he's,
kinda,
yeah, well, he was kind of like had that Yorkshire-ish thing. I can't remember. But anyway, he's the guy that basically asked David Cameron how he could sleep at night,
right.
and apparently he sleeps pretty well now.
The thing,
With
yeah.
a nice hot pig
What's
next to
David
him.
Cameron up to these days?
Yeah.
But, like, the thing about Countryfile, which is tangentially related to Doctor Who because it was what ran into it, there was some wrestlers, and there was the Wild Force Congo Megazord. A kid was playing with it. Yeah, he had a Megazord and he was
Seriously?
smashing it into a wrestler, but the Megazord was the green gorilla from Wild Force from like the year 2000. Like, yes, go like iPlayer it for this one
Fuck.
mental bit.
What? Like how
Maybe he just
big?
likes
How much does it feature? Does it?
No,
feature
it's just
that
like
much?
a couple seconds of him like smashing toys together, like playing with his toys, and it clearly was that Congo
That
Megazord.
clearly got picked up from a charity shop.
Yeah, that's what was my feeling. It was like, oh, we need a toy for like this scene, so here, have this toy.
'Cause that's worth about $2,000 now, surely.
No,
By,
no, it was like a
people's
little one.
comparisons.
It wasn't like the big one. It was like a
Oh,
wee
right.
like,
Oh,
action
fuck
figure.
that. Right.
Yeah, but it was the fact that it was that one from 18.
Yeah.
Good God.
Yeah, God, that was like
Um,
70 years ago. That's
I don't
what
wanna
it
think about
costs
that.
more now because that guy's been charged.
Oh, did he get
Uh,
charged today?
Oh, he's in prison.
Oh dear.
He's in prison.
Not Decker.
Richard Ramirez, I want to say his
Mm.
name was, or something. Yeah, he's in prison.
We could do many hours on a like.
oh, yeah,
Power
talking
Rangers
about Power
podcast.
Rangers. Talking about the people in Power Rangers who are now in prison.
Is that?
Wow.
Is there more than one? Like,
I'm sure there'll be more
is
than
Ernie
one.
in prison or did he die?
I'm sure Ernie's dead.
Oh right.
Ernie's probably dead.
Yeah,
It's sad, but it's
It's
alright.
very warm in here. We should tell the podcast
It was
listeners.
very warm.
I'm on the floor now. I'm melting.
I'm sitting on the sofa.
Oh,
and
that's
I
a good breeze.
Kind of debonair when I sit
I'm
on the
thinking we
sofa.
should maybe call it a podcast.
I've not finished talking about Doctor Who. I probably am.
Yeah.
This week's episode wasn't great.
It's
I think I
Not
liked
been
it more
great.
than the second episode.
It's-
I liked it more than the third episode, but maybe as much as I liked the second episode.
Yeah.
for me, it's the weakest of the series so far.
Yeah, because you were really championing it. You were saying it's the
I-
best two in
One,
like a
two,
decade.
three. Yeah, no, I
Which-
still stand by that.
Do you?
But
Because
wait,
like,
hang on, just because this episode was crap,
Uh-huh.
like hang on, yeah, wait,
Yeah,
no, it's
I'm
still
hanging
good.
on.
It's still
I'm
good.
hanging-
It's still good. It's still fine. It just
I
needs to
like
get
the
a bit
first. The
better.
first episode's been the best episode so far. Like,
Oh, aye.
Yes, that is fair. That is fair.
but like overall, I think the writing's been pretty naff. Naff is the word I would use.
We'll see. We'll give it the full series and then
Mm.
we'll fully judge it as it is.
Aye, absolutely.
Because it is clearly going to be made for the Netflix generation, so we have to judge it as a whole.
I
not
don't
as a
know.
one.
I don't know if I could binge this. Like I say, that was a slog
That's-
to get
that's
through tonight.
true.
yeah, if I was
Like-
binging this, I would
Turned off
I
at
would
that
be-
stage.
I would
Proper
have fallen
slog.
asleep.
I don't
Like,
think Doctor Who is like a good binging show in general.
It's
No,
like,
binging
I
so in general.
I could sit down and watch like Tenant Who all
Yeah.
night, but that's probably like a product of growing up with it. And,
yeah.
like
And obviously, you're kind of binging it when you watch like one of the older ones where it's 2.5 hours.
you are, but like that's an endurance run. Like
Yeah,
just
that's
getting
an
through.
endurance run.
Like I
Also,
love
like-
everything about it, but goodness,
Yeah,
why
like-
is this thing 12 parts long?
I love Old Who dearly, but it's very, very hard to watch a story and not be bored at some point.
It's
Because
so padded.
There will be one of the episodes in a serial which is just terrible and barely has the Doctor in it, and it's just people standing about endlessly talking.
And like, it's not only just that it's padded; it's also from the past, and like media in the past was completely slower than it is today. Like that thing we watched today was an action film compared to like any given Pertwee thing, which was going for the action film vibe.
It was interesting because like Hartnell's like the 10th planet, Hartnell's last story.
Yeah.
Fuck all happens.
I want to talk about that. I want to watch it if I can get a line of it off you at some point,
Yeah, sure.
because I've never seen 10th Planet. I know some of it's animated because like the last
The
episode.
last episode's animated.
Yeah.
I didn't actually realise that, but it is.
Yeah.
And it actually kind of works a wee bit better.
There's
The
a bit of him
animation's
regenerating.
Yeah, they got that from a Blue Peter episode
Nice.
because they showed that in like the 80s or
Wait,
something.
was that like a promo or something?
No, it was like they were explaining the concept of regeneration, so they had that tape, and people think that Blue Peter lost that episode, but apparently that's not the episode they lost. They lost other episodes of Doctor Who.
It's interesting how this all kind of goes because apparently, did you know the invasion was lost until 1993?
That was
They discovered
Tomb of the
China.
Cybermen. I don't know.
No,
if
it was, yeah,
right,
right.
it's Tomb of
It's
the
great.
Cybermen.
There's like a lot of Doctor Who series that they found because like back in the day they used to send like physical tapes to Australia so they could show it
Yeah.
because like they couldn't like beam it over. They had to send physical tapes. And there's like a lot of the lost
Australia, New Zealand,
Yeah.
South Africa, that kind of
Do
thing.
we
Yeah.
think it's
The
ran-
Empire.
Do we think it's ran dry now? Because we've
No,
still
I
got
believe the
restoration?
consensus last time I looked into this was that they've all been found, or at least a lot of them have been found, but people are holding on to them and ransoming them to the
Oh,
BBC.
you dirty bastards! Who's
That's,
doing
yeah,
this?
that's definitely a thing that happens.
That is scumbag
It happens with,
motivation
like-
right there.
It happens with like music recordings as well.
Yeah.
Because like
Yeah.
the people who have rare music record like band, then they want the other things that other people have.
Yeah.
And to get it, you need to have the rare stuff.
Mhm.
Like
That's the whole culture. My plan, before they all get found, is that episode of Futurama where Lur's planet is still watching episodes of Fake Friends or whatever
yeah.
from like 1,000 years ago because the
Omicron
TV
Persei.
Omicron Persei because the broadcast takes that long to get to them. My plan is like get a ship out there and record like the episode, like work out where it is in space right now, and like.
So go 60 years
Yeah.
plus in terms of space
Yeah, like
travel.
go, like 50 odd years and find those broadcasts. I know the investment for this is ludicrous,
Yeah.
but at some point we're gonna need those episodes back.
I just can't believe they're all being ransomed.
You can
Like
listen to
some
them
sick
on audio,
bastards.
I believe. That's how they did. They
They have the audio. And
Yeah, they have the
people
soundtracks.
out there recorded the audio, like just folk
They
Yeah.
have some still frames and stuff. don't
telly snaps. They're called.
Yeah, like that's what people like. That's what people did before you could record TV. They would record the audio.
Yeah, that's how they make the
The
The animated
ones, they
route,
take
yeah.
the audio and then
Yeah.
use it over there.
The Invasion one of those has Bad Wolf written on a wall at one point.
Really?
Because it was made after you came
I
back.
did not notice
And
that.
the animators are massive nerds because they're making a Doctor Who
Nice.
animation.
Yeah, obviously.
Yeah. I want to watch 10th Planet. I hear it's one of those proto third Doctor episodes where they're like experimenting with the format change because there's like a lot of Earth stuff and like
what-
military and because the Invasion's definitely like proto.
One
episode.
of the things that kind of stick out in my mind a lot about it is how different the intro is because
Mhm.
it's got loads of numbers flashing across the screen, which I think must have happened in the last series. It's really cool
Right.
and it's really shot kind of weird. It's edited really nice, but yeah, it's really.
I really
cool.
like Troughton era, like not necessarily the
Yeah.
intro, but like the title screen, like the episode titles that come up, and like it's really like mod and like 60s stuff.
It does look good, doesn't it?
Aye. What episodes did you say you got? Because I don't know if you got cut
So
off there.
Keys of Marinus,
Mhm.
10th Planet.
You got cut off because you said 10th Planet, and I was like, oh, 10th Planet!
Yeah, that's right. What the fuck was it? The Ark, which is
Is that another?
its first Doctor one, and it's like
I always get confused with that in the Ark in
I
Space.
just kind of picked it up. I mean, I never actually read anything. I just picked it up and went, "Fuck it, let's have it." And
Were you
then
in Kex by any chance?
Kex?
Kex, Sex, the sex shop.
No, I was not in Kex. Sex or whatever they were calling it.
CX.
I did go in there afterwards, but
Computer
I was in HM, and there was the box set of 2 Cybermen stories: Revenge of the Cybermen, Tom Baker, and Silver Nemesis.
If we were talking about what is your favourite episode of Classic Who, I'd probably say that Revenge of the Cybermen is up there, and you'd laugh at me in the
See,
same way you laughed
no.
at the bloody Jin.
No, I like it as well, but I think Silver Nemesis is up there for me as well because Silver
Really?
Nemesis is cracking
I
stuff.
like Silver Nemesis, but it's
You know,
very much
it's got
like
that cafe.
it does have
It's
that
got-
cafe.
It's got
The Queen.
It's got tour guides.
It's got two guys. Nicholas Courtney is in a crowd scene with those.
Whoa! What the fuck is he?
Well, it's the 25th anniversary, so they had people down to the set that were like working on the show. So the Brigadier's just in one of the crowd scenes.
Holy shit! I never
That's
knew
one of
that.
my favourite facts.
I did not know that.
Yeah,
I
you
watched
should
that
have
thing
the
100
wiki
times, I had no
sometime.
idea.
The wiki's an incredible time
Yeah,
sink.
I like the wiki. I like the wiki. The TARDIS wiki.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like the TARDIS wiki.
The Revenge of the Cybermen is the one that comes immediately after Genesis of the Daleks. So and it's nowhere near as good as Genesis of the Daleks.
No.
but it does have Cybermen. It has the only use of 70s Cybermen, I want to say.
Yes.
Yeah, and
Because he wasn't in part 3.
Doesn't in part 3, and that was the only.
Yeah, it was only one.
But I love their bulky wetsuit design, and I have incredible nostalgia for it, which is most of the reason why I like it, because it was one of the first ones I watched on Gold.
Also, Cybermen are far more superior to Daleks in my view.
You were talking about this earlier. Do you want to say your soundbite that you were saying, like your Daleks are Nazis?
Oh
like,
right, okay. This kind of occurred to me when I was listening to Spare Parts, which is like the big genesis of the Cybermen.
The big finish thing that everybody
Yeah,
points to is the best
finish.
Cyberman story.
And it is actually really good, and it is really sad and tragic, and it has scary, kind of sick-making moments and stuff like that. Really works.
Body horror.
But there's loads of kind of this thing that makes me think of the communists, and I don't know what it is. I think it's like the way everything's so regimented and everything's about working for the state and all this kind of stuff.
Well, the Cybermen, that's the thing that gets lost with the Daleks and the Cybermen, is because at some point they just make the Cybermen the Borg, and they're just going to be assimilated, and it's a zombie plague.
Yeah.
But and a lot of writers talk about the scary thing about the Cybermen is that they want to help you, and they want to make you better, and to make you better they make you like them, and the Cybermen are we were talking about this in Quality Who, that the Cybermen are the inevitable next stage of humanity, which is fine because we're going to be cyborgs and that's going to happen. And it's just it's the 60s, so cyborgs are clearly the villains.
I'm going to have an arm gun.
Exactly, a robot hand. But I've been thinking about that a lot, and I want to do a Cyberman story where the Cybermen are basically the heroes. You know how a lot of Doctor Who is the Doctor turns up on the planet and he helps some rebels deal with the problem.
Yeah.
I want the Cybermen to rock up to a planet and be like, what's going on here? And then there's this despotic king, and we have to work in the acid mines. And they're like, acid mines? You need robot hands. And they just help
to save the day, basically.
They save the day. It's yes, you have some plastic skin, you won't get the acid burns.
So they just turn them into Cybermen,
despotic
basically.
king laser.
But of course the king will have a shitload of gold.
You'll have a hell of a lot of
That's
gold.
where the issue
Apparently
will come.
they're weak to cleaning fluid as well, the way he was telling me, at some point in
And
Troughton's.
radioactivity, which everyone is weak to. So it's
The Mondasian Cybermen, they were guys.
yeah, we died because of radiation, and it's dude. Of
It
course
was
it
the
kills them.
60s,
it's gonna kill everyone, but alright. And
Well, you can say that they get more evolved. And
there's a Troughton episode, it's the moon base, and Troughton's radiation, that could kill them. Do we have any radiation around?
in
It
the
was
space
what?
station.
Yeah, I know, it's no, there's not a lot of radiation. By the way, can you help me with this nuclear reactor that we have, and it is breaking constantly? It's oh god.
It was a different time.
Are we calling it? Is this how you do
I
this?
think we
Yeah,
just
it's
give
all
up at a certain point.
Well, thank you everyone for listening, I guess. Oh wait, why don't you say that because you're the regular host?
I mean,
Yeah,
there's three of us.
exactly.
Yeah.
There's three of
Cybermen.
us.
Bye. We'll see you next week for. I got the episode title.
What is the episode
What's the
title?
next one?
It was something dumb.
I was really excited by it,
Yeah.
Arachnids in the UK, so maybe do it
The
again.
next episode is called.
Ooh, something of death. Return of the Blank.
The Saranga Conundrum.
That sounds like an ITV3 pre-5 o'clock quiz show type thing.
Oh wait, hang on.
Can you solve the Karanga
It's an
Karumbrum?
episode of Tales of the Unexpected.
Well, we saw the trailer. We should probably talk about that.
I don't know what to say. There was a room.
It was a
There was
space-looking thing.
That
Ken looked like
guy-
the Star Trek concert room.
Yeah, it did
From
look
the
like quite
J.J. Abrams.
Oh, it's
enterprising.
space-based. It would have been
Like space based.
Maybe it won't be. Maybe it'll just be a room. It's somewhere in modern day Sheffield.
Saves the money.
But was that one actor Miranda's husband, or was it that guy that I always think looks like Miranda's husband? Was it Lucifer from the show Lucifer?
Who? Which
In
one?
the trailer, there was a shot of a man, a handsome man-looking guy.
It was cancelled. He needs work.
Was Lucifer cancelled? Was he?
It was cancelled.
Maybe.
Apparently, I never watched it.
A lot
I
of-
guess Tom Whalen came in. He made it bad.
A lot of times when there's a guy and things, I'm like, is that Miranda's husband from the show Miranda? Because it might be Miranda's husband.
As in Miranda Hart's actual husband?
No,
or-
the husband in the show.
Oh, she gets married. I thought the whole
She gets
thing was
married
that
at one
Dylan
point.
wants to marry her.
I think she gets married in a Christmas special. I want to say.
I never liked that show that much.
Vague memories.
It was on just after or just before Mrs. Brown's Boys, so I just called it trash.
Aye, the black hole that is Mrs. Brown's Boys does bring things down.
Total.
Tonal.
garbage.
Let's end the podcast on letting
I was gonna say I can't. We have
Mrs. Brown's Boys exists, viewers.
and
It
with that
exists.
thought, And
It
with
continues to exist. It
Yep.
prospers.
that, there will be a Christmas special of Mrs. Brown's Boys this year.
And there might not be a Christmas special of Doctor Who.
Apparently.
We should talk about that
I've
because
heard
that is
that
news.
rumor. I've heard that rumor. I don't.
No, that's
We
happening.
can't
That's
end.
scheduled, surely.
This is the
I
podcast
thought it
eternal.
was, but I'm sure I read a rumor that there might not
No,
be one. I don't know.
That's
Well,
8 weeks. It must
here-
already be done, surely.
Here's the thing. This season will end in December,
yes.
which I don't think has happened before.
No.
No.
So like it's already Christmas time, and I can see them saying like you've just gotten 10 episodes of
And
Doctor Who. You're not getting a Christmas
There's
special.
another sort of rumor that there won't be a series next year.
Another gap year.
because of production.
Was it because of production difficulties, or was it because they were just like
Well, filming's been delayed
right?
That's,
until next spring,
that's never a good sign.
which means it won't be ready for next. That's the rumor, anyways.
Well, if it's
And
if
I was
film's
wondering
next
if-
spring,
Like
then
they might have a special ready to go, but they might like, oh, maybe we might not show it at Christmas. I don't know.
all right, they may have like a Christmas. Well, that says a lot of things because if they film a Christmas special.
I guess it depends on Christmas.
And they
is,
can,
so-
yeah, if it's not very Christmassy, they could hold that off for like an Easter special,
Yeah, that's what I
a
was
Planet of the
thinking,
Dead
yeah.
style Easter special. But I hope, I don't know, like
Great work.
Christmas special Doctor Who's traditional, and I guess I don't need it every year, but like that seems like a.
It's possible there must be. Maybe it was a tougher.
Well, the rumor at the start of this season, the rumor at the start of all this was that
Dalek.
it was going to be a
I
Dalek
think that
Christmas
was only
special.
because there was all the stuff about how there's not going to be any recurring ones.
Yeah, and that may
Which
have
was
just,
never actually confirmed.
that was
Like,
just
they
internet
alluded to it.
speculation. It looks like they're going that way
Yeah.
though, unless Donald Trump is someone or
They,
like.
they alluded to it.
I don't know. Donald Trump.
We just wrote a match. Donald Trump is the master.
Donald Trump is the master. Donald Trump is the Rani.
Yeah, man.
Yes.
At some point, the Rani needs to be in New Who
Yeah.
as a joke, as a throwaway character, and I think Chris Chibnall's the man
Has
to
there
do
even
it.
been a Rani reference? In...
Well, one
No.
of the Sarah Jane Adventures characters is called Rani.
Yeah.
Like that was Russell T Davis just being like, "Hey,
Was there not
yeah,
that
see the
thing-
Rani?
Was there not
No.
that thing where, like, at the end of the, I think it was Journey's End, one of the finales where the Master is dead, they're burning his body, and then a lady picks up that ring
Yes,
and all
yeah.
that picture,
That might
and they
be-
implied that it was the long hands of the Rani and all
that might have been where it like all sprang from because
Yeah.
they're like, oh, female hands. Who could this like Doctor
Could
Who
be his
villain?
wife, could it?
Yeah, it's one of these things. The battery's failing.
We'll give it. What do you mean?
We should probably end it there.
Yeah, let's end it.
Yeah. Thanks for listening, everyone.
Thanks
Thank you,
Yeah.
everyone.
I've been Girthy Craig. You've been Mar.
Thank
I've
you.
been David.
You've been. You don't have like a. He's Mar, which is like an incredible name.
It's not that great.
It's
but
a great
okay.
name,
It's
Mar.
barely done anything
Mar.
for me.
It's a great name.
Thanks, baby.
Bye, everyone.
Bye, everyone. Take care.